Oh, yeah. Best intro in radio. I'll just say it. It's fine. Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Got a great tweet over the weekend from Todd, at Word of Todd on Twitter. He said, at a Doors tribute concert, and they did the Is Everybody In intro, and now I wish Ben and Woods was on. He said, it made the show for me before it even started. Just by doing that intro. I'll tell you, that intro fires me up every single time. Don't be surprised if you hear that next year as the sole and only intro for the Ben and Woods program. We've put our collective heads together and said, what are we doing? We don't need any of this other crap. Let's just roll with that one. It always puts us in a good mood, even on a Wednesday morning with nothing to talk about. Still puts me in a great mood. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning. You trying to murder me today?
How's that?
Well, you've assigned me some listening on my way to work, and yesterday was great. I enjoyed my mix of songs. Today
you didn't like it.
You gave me an album. I
didn't give you an album.
That's what it played. I started with one, and it just kept going with the same band over and over and over.
Band of Horses.
Band of Horses.
Yeah, I thought it was I keep thinking I need to just make a playlist for you.
And so I listened to like 9 Band of Horses songs, and that is.
Are you sad?
Well, yes, and I'm almost. It's the kind of band that I would fall asleep at the concert.
Yes.
Which is really dangerous when I'm driving in the car at 5 in the morning. So, luckily I had a cappuccino, or I might have driven right off the road listening to song after song of Band of Horses.
I'm sorry.
It's pretty voice, but it's like Dave Matthews Band. I can't listen to much of it.
It's a little bit of it's mellow.
Very mellow.
All right, I'll bring the noise.
So mellowed out.
I'll bring the noise tomorrow. And it's funny you mentioned Band of Horses because I got here this morning. And I'm
sorry. I pulled up Spotify. Band of Horses. Their 2 most popular songs are called "The Funeral,"
great song,
and "No One's Gonna Love You."
See, yeah, it was not a raring to go sort of morning on my way to work.
So the song I started you with always gets me in a great mood.
That was my favorite.
Warning signs. It's so good.
That was my favorite one of all of them, and they just kept getting
worse and worse,
depressing and mellow as we went on.
Yeah,
going,
Kurt,
am I going to make it to work this morning?
Kurt says, "Sorry, the Band of Horses isn't the Human League." Don't you want me? Like, I'm so sorry that it's not Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax, don't do it. You got. I'm trying to broaden your horizons. Can't you see it?
Said Band of Horses, not Little River Band.
It's funny you mention them, dude, because I come into work and there's a box on my desk, and based on some of the things that Dodger fans have sent me over the years, I'm like, am I opening a turd? Because there's no return address, and I'm like, I'm opening an actual human or.
Remember, you're the only one who has ever sent you a turd in the mail.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I am the only person that's ever sent me a turd. So I see this, got my name on it, and I go, oh, God. So I carefully open it. I didn't want acid to spray. I don't know. You just never know. People are crazy out there, as we see every day in the news. And it says, custom fridge Beats, and it's got the Beats logo, like Beats by Dre. And so I open it up, you guys, and it's a refrigerator magnet, and it's got all these pictures of me and my boys on it, right?
It's awesome.
And it's just incredible. And it hangs on the fridge, and there's a little button, and you push the button.
Hour on. Pairing.
And it plays the Band of Horses song, No One's Gonna Love You, which is the first song I ever played when Bo was born. And laying on my chest, and I played this song for him, and I'm gonna cry. But this was such a thoughtful gift, and I have no idea who it came from. And it's the sweetest thing. So thank you, whoever sent it. I love it, and I want to get these for people. I didn't know this existed. So now my whole fridge is going to be covered with Beats magnets of different songs of different moments.
I'm assuming they're customizable, and it's not only pictures of you and Bo in that one song that are available to the general public?
No, you can pick different songs. And I think about this. So when we go in March to take the kids to the Sphere to see the Eagles, so I can do a whole montage, have a great Eagles song of us at the Sphere, and then have that on the fridge forever. And it's all of our memories accompanied with a song. I just thought that was so clever and a gift I didn't know existed. And I just love it. So you made my day, whoever you are. It means a lot to me. And it's very, very sweet. And I I think this is such a brilliant gift idea.
Well, you're welcome.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
You did?
No.
Oh.
It's much too thoughtful for me.
It's so thoughtful. Oh, Hannah just ruined my morning. She said, sorry to tell you our fridge is stainless. So
what about the side?
It won't stick.
Sometimes things that won't stick on the front will stick on the side.
I don't want it on the side. I want it on the front. I want people to walk in and go, hey, what the hell is this? And then
get you some double-sided.
And then just play it.
You don't let anyone in your house who would be there to play it other than you.
The kids, I guess. It's really sweet, though. So thank you for, A, not sending a turd, and B, sending that very thoughtful gift. Whoever you are, you're very, very kind.
That is very sweet.
So now I need a big piece of metal or something in my house that I can stick these things to, because this is not going to be the last one of these that graces the Woods Manor. I promise you.
Tomorrow, maybe you'll show up and there'll be a giant box and it'll be a
new fridge,
steel fridge.
I would be the type to buy a new fridge just to get the metal one, stainless, so it doesn't stick on.
It doesn't go in your washing machine.
Leave it to my wife to come in and just crap all over my sentimental.
No, I think it's smart of her, because she needs you standing in front of the fridge less and in front of the washing machine more.
No, I'm actually not allowed to wash clothes in my home.
How did you gain all the weight?
Kept standing in front of the fridge.
Listening to my Beats picture frame. I'm not allowed to touch the washer and dryer. So, how's that?
You're not
sounds like a great rule.
Sounds
like a dream rule for most husbands.
Yeah. Well,
unless she gets to use it and you have to wash yours like with a washboard.
Yeah, I'm in the backyard on the weekend.
Just hanging in a clothesline. You can learn to play that along with your Jew's harp.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually I'll wash my clothes as I'm churning the weekly butter out in the backyard. No, she doesn't let me, because she doesn't like when if I wanted to do laundry, it would be prime time. Noon, 1, 2, 3, in the daylight hours. She does laundry at like 1 a.m. It's cheaper. So that's why I'm not allowed to touch it. Plus,
it's true.
Plus,
power rates are cheaper from midnight to like 6 a.m.
Yeah, so look, at the end of the day, I don't have to do my own laundry, which is pretty fantastic, but it also gets lorded over me sometimes that she does the laundry.
Given the amount that you'll spend on everything else, though, the idea of you saving a few pennies by moving your laundry from noon to 2 a.m.
is talking about.
Yeah, what are we talking, a nickel?
How much would you save over the course of a year?
And you're talking again about, we've got, in the other way, she does laundry every day. I would do laundry like twice a week. I would do it on Sunday, and I would do it on Wednesday. And I would just twice a week. She does it every single day. So I put something in, it's hanging back up in my closet by the next morning. Sometimes even the next day, it's back in. So there's no lag in your clothes, which is nice, and she does a great job with it. Keep it up. I won't complain. What am I complaining about? I don't have to do my own laundry.
Well, if you want to come to my house, you can do laundry whenever you want.
I don't necessarily like doing laundry. I like doing laundry. I don't like folding laundry.
That's fair.
At all.
Doing laundry
fun.
Really just requires putting some detergent in and pushing a button, which is always fun.
I actually have fun, when she's out of town, and that's when I get really rebellious.
You go to town.
I
laundry whenever you want.
I do laundry whenever I want. I may smoke a cigarette in there while I'm doing it, just to be the rebel that I am. But
she doesn't have one of those cameras set up to catch you doing laundry while she's gone?
She does, actually, but I don't know how often she checks it. So, I thank you for that gift, whoever it was. It was very, very nice. Maybe a magnetic whiteboard we can find some space for. It's great, though. Very, very kind gift, and really appreciate it.
We are just 2 days away from our Christmas and holiday extravaganza, which means 3 total shows left. Two and now, 10 minutes less of this one. So the clock is ticking fast on 2024
now?
Yeah,
for your friends Ben and Woods. Yeah,
not me.
We're definitely in that last week of school mode. We've actually had a really fun week so far.
It has been a great week, yep.
While the baseball content, especially Padres wise, has been
nothing.
Incredibly light, bordering on nothing.
Nothing.
That actually is nothing. At this point.
Literally nothing.
we've managed to get by with a couple of pretty decent shows.
Yeah.
Now, can we do it again today? That's the challenge facing us for the next 3 hours and 49 minutes, and hopefully we'll come through for you with a decent one today.
Like 7 hours and 49 minutes, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
And then the extravaganza, which, just to let everybody know, has these two guys stressed out.
I'm done.
And I get it. I mean, I'm a little nervous as well. Anytime we have people in studio, anytime we have 4 hours of non-sports Padres total content to kill, there's certainly an added degree of pressure to come up with something good. But I think we have some good things planned on Friday. There are still some balls that are in the air that haven't landed yet.
Yeah.
That always makes, they may come through, they may not, and it changes the tenor of the show a little bit. But no matter what, guys, you've done an amazing job. I can't tell you how much work that Woods and Paul put into the Christmas and holiday extravaganza every year.
I read something once, and it was in regards to parenting. And it said parenting is really hard, really hard. And it's harder for people that actually care about being a parent. Radio's the same way. Radio's the exact same way. If you don't care, this actually is a pretty easy job. If you really don't care about what goes out over the airwaves and how it sounds and how entertaining it is or how informative it is, no problem. I mean, you come in, you BS your way through it, and you call it a day. If you really care about the quality of what you're putting out through the airwaves, it does get extremely stressful. And when it comes to a show like the Christmas show, you have the tendency to... Because I remember last year, we got a little bit, we kind of ran out of material at the end. And knowing that, you learn from that, you want to grow from that. You want to have so much material that in the 9 o'clock hour, you're like, we got to play this, we got to play this, we got to play this. Because you have a tendency to like, hey, let's come out of the gate firing and go, 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 all of our best bits. It's the best hour you'll hear, and then you die for 3 hours. So it's because we care so much that it has to be good.
But remember what you have taught me over these last 7 years, that some of our best stuff comes in the moments in between.
It's absolutely
when we actually
right.
don't have anything planned.
Yep.
Like yesterday when we started talking about candy canes.
For sure.
I guess Paulie planned that by putting it in the Roundel report. But
I didn't know it was going to turn out.
We
the
didn't
way
know
it
it was
did.
going to go
no
there.
idea that it would end up as one of our more contentious discussions of the year.
I must have had 50 DMs yesterday. People were texting me about it. Like, that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. We had no idea it was going to happen. So I love days like that. I love shows like that. I love segments like that. And I expect the Christmas and holiday extravaganza to go off. And really, I think what we need to keep in mind at the end of the day, it's about raising money for Lucky Duck Foundation. I mean, keep that as our baseline, then we're going to be in good shape. And that's really what it boils down to. So very excited to get that thing going. The costumes look great. I tried mine on last night. It's epic. Paulie's is epic. Ben's is epic. It's going to be so much fun. And Bobby Cressy will be in playing songs for us, as he always is. That always brightens my day. It's just going to be a great day. And getting to see so many Tier 1s, too, is going to be epic.
All right, we will set the menu for this Wednesday program, final Wednesday of the year when we come back. Ben and Woods and Paul and Kelly's Traffic coming up next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Tan in our YouTube chat says you'd be amazed how many dudes can't change a tire. Third one this year helping the helpless. Did he just stop like on the side of a road?
That's very nice, man.
And help someone change their tire?
That's very nice.
I will raise my hand and be part of that group that doesn't really know how to change the tire. I do know how to call AAA.
We have talked.
They're pretty fast.
We've talked about it before. I can do it. I have done it. What gets me is the jack.
Yeah.
It's the jack. If I had a real jack, I could do it. No problem. It's that janky jack that you get. All the cars I've ever had have had the janky jack.
The included jack. You don't have the big
tire
iron that, pulls off the lug nuts fast like they do at the real place. You have the little one.
The little tiny one.
It's not easy.
And it's the jack. The last flat tire I had was on the side of the road in Kansas. You guys remember that?
Yes, I do.
And that was,
how could we forget?
That was one of the tougher days. And there was no shoulder. So I had to pull into the tall grass. So there's no way I'm changing a tire on an angle with a tiny little rental car jack, so I had to wait.
And you had to use the bathroom.
Yes, I had to go.
Number 2.
On the side of the road in the tall grass and use a golf towel. That I'm sorry for littering, but I had to leave it, as you can understand. That was after playing a concert with a buddy, playing at his bar, drinking, I don't know, a bottle of Jack Daniels the night before. And
rough day.
It was a rough day. I saw the Padres, though, and at what's the ballpark? Kauffman Stadium.
With the fountains.
It was a fun day. It was a long, long drive. And coupled with a flat tire. That was tough.
I spent entirely too much time yesterday watching the golf.
You did?
I did.
I forgot to turn it on.
Yeah,
Shocker.
I flipped it on. I was at work.
Who won?
Rory and Scotty dominated.
I should have put money on it, damn it.
Well, you had
the odds.
I think there was 1-3. So
yeah.
Even Charles Barkley says, I'm not going to bet on them because you don't bet $3 to win $1.
It's true.
But Charles was part of the telecast. They had a mix of PGA Tour and Live announcers like David Faraday from Live and Trevor Immelman, and then they put Charles Barkley on there as well. And
Is this a ploy to just soften us all up for the inevitable what's coming? We're just one big Saudi-funded league, and everyone just needs to put all their morals, BS behind them.
Probably
just move on.
A little bit, because there was certainly no animosity. Everyone, remember when Brooks hated Bryson and
Correct.
they did a whole thing? Now they were teammates, and they were getting perfectly along with Rory and
they're buddies now.
Scotty. And Rory and the Liv, they were supposed to be mortal enemies for life.
Correct.
And now they're out there, and they won $10 million in cryptocurrency as the first prize for winning the event. Which it wasn't 6 holes. It was 3 different 6-hole matches.
Oh, okay.
So it was like 4-ball, then alternating shot, and then singles matches for the last 6. And they swept everything. It was done after 16 holes,
Wow.
2.5 to zip, as Rory was pretty much the dominant player.
Not
Scotty
Scotty.
was really good. Bryson and Brooks were a little all over the map, so it wasn't much of a competition.
Well, I knew you would watch it. I knew you'd fill us into that.
I did.
I was working on the show yesterday. I had some time to myself, and I was trying to work on this show, and it just gets dire. I just feel dire. I needed a paper bag yesterday.
Yeah, there was definitely no urgency of these guys hate each other, or there's some big rivalry here.
No, they're softening us up.
There were some decent golf shots, and watching golf at night where the setup where they put lights on about 12 of the holes.
That's
so
cool.
They could play after dark in Las Vegas, and it's cold and they're kind of bundled up, was somewhat interesting to me, but it really was not. It wasn't that scintillating.
Yeah, and I think that's an inevitability that will happen. And by the way, more power to them. Whatever they got to do to get golf back to where it was, because I like a lot of the live golfers a ton. I really, really enjoy them. I would love watching them play. I don't like the live tournament. I don't like how it's set up. It's corny. It's cheesy. It looks very B level. I love the PGA. I love watching golf. I miss the competition, and I think those guys probably do too.
It's better with all of them together.
It's so much better.
Hopefully they find a way to do that more often and not in events like this.
Correct. In real golf tournaments.
Other than just
the majors.
Right.
Yeah,
like the majors, which we all love.
100%.
All right, coming up on the program today, setting the menu, did have a trade go down in Major League Baseball yesterday. We'll talk about Cody Bellinger heading to the New York Yankees, a move that a year or two ago would have sounded immense. Now
it's kind of wait and see.
It's you're not sure what the end result is going to be, but they did make that trade yesterday.
They're active, man. Yeah, give them credit for being active. Both teams, the Cubs and the Yankees. Yankees got that. They were in the World Series, man. They're trying to get back there. How refreshing. Can't hate on them.
Yeah, there's definitely some upside here for the Yankees.
100%.
Cubs get out from under some salary.
One of my Dodger fan buddies tweeted, well, I guess at the end of the day, Cody Bellinger probably catches that ball in center field, so that's already a step up. It's like, oh, my God. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, it's a fine move for both teams.
You probably wanted to bring back Juan Soto if you're a Yankees fan.
Correct.
But
they're doing
the group of guys they've brought in.
They're doing
and can afford.
They're doing something. They're doing something. If you're a Yankee fan, I think you're pretty happy today.
It's
right?
not the worst, plan B or whatever.
Correct.
Plan A failed. Plan B, here you go. You get Max Fried. You go get Bellinger.
Devin Williams. Yeah, you're like, all right, at least we know this feeling, right? We know that feeling of oh my God, we just added 5 pieces before the season started. Hope it all works out. We've been there, but I'd rather have that to discuss than this.
I want to hit some hoops this morning. The NBA Cup final was not a very entertaining game, but the local college basketball game was. I watched the stream of UCSD Utah State last night, probably the biggest win in UCSD basketball history. They've arrived on the Division I scene. We now have 2 programs in town that are worth talking about right now. So we can get to that in our 7 o'clock hour, along with Take on Woods, chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas, and the college basketball viewing party in March. Don't do this. Did you see that study that came out yesterday from Major League Baseball about pitching injuries?
Let's get so in the weeds on this,
you guys. We definitely can.
I want to.
I don't think anything was earth-shattering, but it's
12 years. Jeff Passan said he's been working on this. Essentially,
it's interesting that it's coming out now, and what are they actually going to do? Now that you have a study, you can't just put your head in the sand and go, well, we don't know what the problem is. Well, now you've studied the problem. You know what the problem is. What can you do about the problem, though, of pitching injuries in Major League Baseball?
I'll tell you exactly where it starts. It starts with me. It starts with me and people that coach kids. That's where it starts. And that's where it has to start. It has to start on a local level. Like today. And I'll tell you a story I heard over the weekend from a travel ball dad. I'll tell you about the big league manager I texted with about this yesterday. I'll tell you all of it. I
coached high school baseball for 6 years. I've got some thoughts.
I love this. I love this whole conversation.
You're absolutely right.
It starts right here. It starts today. Dads, moms that coach, listen up.
This reminds me of a shirt I saw someone wearing yesterday that made me think of you in particular. It said, I coach, they play, you cheer.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. I love that shirt. I'm going to hang that sign outside the field.
Oh. The Don't Interfere Parents shirt that guy was wearing. So I can imagine he had some stories to tell if he was wearing that shirt in public.
And hey, listen, there's a lot of, I'll tell you something about San Diego. There's so many good coaches here. There's so many good and brilliant coaches that really care about development of players and teaching the love and passion of the game. Then there's the other side that just want to win baseball games and win corny little rings for 8-year-olds. We've got to get it together, okay? And I would love to hear from coaches today. I mean, this is a show, it's pretty open. I'd love to hear from you guys when we talk about it, your thoughts too, because I think most would agree that it starts with us, the coaches and the dads and the moms that coach.
There'll be lie detectors for coaches before they take the job. Why are you?
Yes.
What are you in this for?
What are you in this for? Yes.
Is it for you?
Winning at all costs?
Or is it for the kids?
Yeah. It's a tough look. It is a tough line to. Who wants to win more than I do? I love to win. That being said, doing some of the things that people do to win baseball games at an 8-year-old level is ridiculous and absurd, and you should be embarrassed. But I want to talk to the coaches. I want to hear from you guys today. Also, teaching your kids that are 8 years old that it's okay to win and want to win, but not at any cost and all cost, and not at the cost of the kids' arms and things like that. So this is a riveting topic, one I'm very passionate about. Can't wait to talk to everybody.
Coming up in the second half of the show, Ben and Woods Wrapped, 8:35. We were getting near the end of the year. Today we are turning the clock back to October, which obviously was... It started
tough
out
to find something fun.
It started out so optimistic and hopeful, and then of course the Padres lost. So we're gonna let our boss Adam Klug wear it for a few minutes.
He's weird
on Ben and Woods Wrapped today.
Can't believe this guy, man.
He was not happy about having to pull the audio for this one, which he did for us yesterday.
I go out of town for 2 days.
Yeah, the world falls apart.
Paulie's got a Rindle report in our 9 o'clock hour, and then we'll turn things over to Annie and Elston at 10 o'clock, and that's a brief look at the menu, at least some of the highlights. We will come back and talk about the trade that went down yesterday. Again, not involving your San Diego Padres. Next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, 'tis the season, right?
It is the season.
Tis the season.
We actually had a box waiting for us, a delivery.
I had a present this morning that was amazing and lovely.
And we got another one. And I don't know who it's from, but there's a card, and it says Ben Higgins.
It says Benjamin Higgins.
Benjamin Higgins.
Stephen Woods. And Paul Reindl. Now, it's a blue envelope.
Mm-hmm. And it comes with a well-wrapped box.
Should we do... All right, you do the...
Simultaneously?
I think you had to do the card. You always do the card first.
You're supposed to do the card first. I'll get started here.
Gentlemen, it's Chris again. Same guy, new store. Once again, thanks for making my commute so easy in the morning. You guys have no idea how much Ben and Woods and Paulie have meant to me. 2024 has been a challenging year. Your show helped me through the tough times. Happy holidays. Looking forward to a prosperous new year. Do the show, bitch.
Ooh,
Chris.
It's edible.
Is it edible?
Looks edible. It's a classic Neiman Marcus 6-pack sampler of mini bun cakes.
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
Chris.
We've got lemon vodka, chocolate espresso liqueur, bourbon pecan.
I'll take that one.
Caribbean rum, Irish cream and brandy, and brandy apple pie. So we got
brandy apple pie.
Alcoholic bunt cakes
from Neiman Marcus. Man.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Chris.
I feel so
very
loved.
classic. And a nice metal tin for all of us. Here you go, Woods.
Thank you, buddy. How'd you give it to me? I'll be.
How did you gain all the weight?
Somebody sent me 6 bunt cakes from Neiman Marcus.
And drop into alcoholism at the same time.
Exactly. Chris, you are immense.
That's
sir.
awesome.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Chris.
Very
Appreciate
thoughtful.
that.
Yeah, the rest of you tier ones, what are you guys waiting for? Let's go.
Do you need our Venmos? Like, what are you doing here?
Just give the Lucky Duck.
Should we put the address out just to make sure everyone knows where to send everything?
Just give the Lucky Duck, and that will make us happy. But wait till Friday, please.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it.
We want to get credit for it.
Yes,
don't just randomly give to them now.
One of our tier ones, Matt, who I love, goes, I donated $100 to them over the weekend. I'm like, damn it, Matt. Just wait till Friday, bro.
Right, so $200 on Friday is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Yes, no, if you missed, we talked very briefly about it late in yesterday's show. We're doing things a little bit differently this year on Friday for the extravaganza. Instead of the gift cards to families that you, the listeners, have submitted to us, everyone's going to participate in this year's extravaganza. We are raising money for Lucky Duck. There will be a link that we have showing on our YouTube stream, on our social media channels, and we will just pound it all morning long over the airwaves. But there will be a specific link that you can go to and donate specifically for the extravaganza.
Yeah.
And all the money will go in your name from the extravaganza towards Lucky Duck.
Correct.
So we really want to make sure that gets done on Friday.
Indeed.
All right, there was something about the trade that went down yesterday in baseball, the Cubs and the Yankees, that just paints a very clear picture of where the sport is currently. And we can talk about that after a little check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. You guys, one problem here. Looks like a crash West 8 right past Mission Center Road. This vehicle is facing the wrong way over the right shoulder. Could be partially in the slow lane, so take it extra carefully on your trip into Mission Valley. That's westbound 8 just past Mission Center Road. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less, plus get a free courtesy check for your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So it feels like, Woods, we're officially down to one team that really doesn't care about payroll. Well, maybe two. The Mets and the Dodgers. Because the Yankees clearly do after yesterday's trade, where they did add payroll in Cody Bellinger, but they had the Cubs send them $5 million in that deal as well. The Cubs clearly care about payroll. Cody Bellinger is not a bad player, correct?
Correct.
I mean, he's not the MVP that he was
He's
in
a strange player.
2019.
Strange.
He's been a little up and down, but for the most part, his numbers last year, they weren't horrible. He hit like 265 with 18 home runs. He's a slightly overpaid player for what he's currently producing on his contract.
Yep.
And he opted into his deal with the Cubs. They weren't happy about it. They would have liked him to have opted out into free agency so they didn't have to pay him at all. So instead, they offloaded him to the New York Yankees and some money to get the Yankees to take him, and picked up a young pitcher actually from El Cajon, Cody Poteet, right-hander who had like 5 decent outings for the Yankees last season after he hadn't pitched the year before. So I don't know if he's going to turn into anything, but this was basically a salary dump by the Chicago Cubs to get rid of a guy who was the MVP of baseball 5 years ago.
Yeah, and he's been streaky. I mean, he had a really nice 2023. And I think, look, I grew up a Yankee fan, Ben, so when you get a power hitting when you get a left-handed hitter with power, every Yankee fan in America this morning is saying, "Man, time to feast on that short porch, buddy." I mean, it was like part of the lexicon of a Yankee fan is just say, "Hey, short porch and right, get as many lefties as you can," and I think it's benefited some of them. With Cody Bellinger, you're just hoping he gets on a hot streak and stays healthy. I mean, and if so, he's a pretty good player. I read yesterday they are going to move him to center field. They're going to move Judge back to right. And I'm wondering, I mean, he can also get reps at first. He's a pretty decent first baseman as well, which gives them a little bit of flexibility, which every team is just salivating over flexibility right now. Padres are no exception. Love to try to be flexible as you can. So I think it's a good move. I mean, again, it's not going to break the bank. Cubs got a guy back in return and dump the salary so they can freeze them up to make more moves. The Yankees still have room to make more moves as well. One of those trades you're like, yeah, it kind of makes sense for everybody. It felt kind of inevitable.
I thought Mike Petriello from MLB.com had the definitive tweet on this. It was 1 year ago. What if Cody Bellinger gets $250 million today? What if you have to kick in money to move him for Cody Poteet? And again, it's not as though he had a disaster. It's not like he hit 170 with 4 home runs and a -4 WAR.
Don't forget, this very show sat in here last year and or whenever Cody Bellinger was with that, getting that 250. We sat in here and debated many times, is Cody Bellinger worth the 250 he's probably going to get on the open market? I think we all came to the resounding no. But he was a guy we talked about.
Wouldn't you be thrilled if you could have Cody Bellinger in the Padres lineup right now to fill that last outfield spot?
100%.
Right now.
100%.
Of course.
100%.
Can the Padres afford that on his current overpaid salary? No. But I would love to have Cody Bellinger, and I would imagine the Yankees are pretty happy to have him. And with the short porch and everything, you can dream on Cody Bellinger having a pretty good season. In the Bronx. So I think it's a move that makes a lot of sense for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and the moves that they've made this offseason, look, like every single move in baseball, I think maybe other than landing a Shohei Ohtani, you look at it and you go, all right, well, we'll wait and see. I mean, that's just what it is. We'll wait and see how it turns out. Max Fried, if Max Fried stays healthy, great move. 8 years is a long time for Max Fried, but they're in a win now mode as they should be. You lose a Juan Soto, that's a ton of production. That's 162 games of, albeit very spotty defense in right field, but a guy that's going to play 162 games. He had 41 homers. He was outstanding in the playoffs. So you do need to replace guys, and you do need to placate your fan base that now thinks you're the New York Yankees and you're broke. Oh, we're the broke-ass New York Yankees. So you go out, you get Max Fried, you spend a ton on him, but he's going to help in a pretty decent rotation. You get Devin Williams, who's going to shore up the back end of your bullpen. Okay, big name. How's it going to work? Cody Bellinger, huge name. Is it going to work in New York? We'll see.
I think from a Cubs perspective, I'd be a little frustrated, even though it's not a bad move. I think Jed Hoyer made the argument, hey, we got better with Kyle Tucker overall.
Oh, yeah.
And cheaper because he's still under control for one more year. Get out from under Cody Bellinger. This is like a win-win. John Morosi reporting this morning, just 3 minutes ago, Cubs are looking at free agent relievers as one area to apply their new financial flexibility after the Cody Bellinger trade. I would push back if I was a Cubs fan going, you tell me you had zero financial flexibility. We have sold out Wrigley Field 17 million times in the last 100 years. We play in Chicago, which is the number 3 media market in the country.
Their owners are notoriously cheap.
It is. That would be frustrating at this point. There's no reason that they should not be more like the Cubs or more like the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees than then the Cubs are acting more like they're a mid-market or even a smallish market team sometimes.
So people are bringing this up in the chat. Might as well talk about it because it's pretty funny. But, yeah, Cody Bellinger is married to Giancarlo Stanton's ex-girlfriend. And they're like, oh, the chemistry's going to be off. Guys, if you knew.
That's probably the first time that's ever happened.
If you knew.
In sports.
If you knew just how common it was, it would probably make your hair fall out. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Business, at the end of the day, they're going to come in and try to win a World Series. So I don't think there'll be any weird chemistry issues between them. Obviously, everyone's moved on and are in other big G's in another relationship. And
did it end badly? Do we know?
No,
just ended.
I don't think anything could end badly with Big G. He's the sweetest angel of all time. One of my favorite baseball players ever to live. I just love Giancarlo. I always have. Just says that.
Michael.
He's got that thing, man. He's just got that thing. That thing. Mrs. Woods, huge fan of Big G. Now, I wouldn't want to follow Big G, but he did, and he married her, so that's going to be a thing.
I mean, we talked about it before, those ball players in the 70s who just swapped families.
Yeah. Fritz Kikich or Mike Kikich. I can't remember Fritz Peterson. Yeah, I did a whole
you did a whole
rabbit hole. That did not end
two
well.
guys. That didn't end as well.
They just switched.
Yeah, just
you take mine, I'll take yours.
You take my family, wife, kids. I'll take yours, wife, kids, and we'll see.
Freaking 70s, man.
See how it goes.
The 70s.
The ultimate key party.
Yeah, literally. Didn't even need the keys.
You're not just going home for a night. You're going home
forever.
Permanently. This is it.
Forever. Yeah. Pretty incredible, man. Pretty incredible. So I think, look, if you're a Yankee fan today, you're like, good, great, big name, excited, got another guy to replace Juan Soto or help create some of those wins that Eno Saris has been talking about. And I think when healthy, Cody Bellinger can be a really, really good player. So good move for them and fine move for the Cubs. They got to accomplish what they needed to accomplish. Win-win for both teams. And every time a move comes down, I sit and go, why not us? Why not us? Why can't we make some moves?
Well, right now, Padres aren't even in the rumors on a lot of the moves. Our friend David Schoenfield from ESPN yesterday did his predictions of remaining free agents column and, listed about a dozen of the top guys left on the market. And the only one that he connected at all to the San Diego Padres was Roki Sasaki. He picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had 6 teams in the mix for Roki Sasaki as his best bets.
Let me guess.
Ooh.
The Dodgers.
Correct.
The Padres.
Correct.
The Cubs.
Correct.
The Red Sox.
You didn't have the Red Sox in there, although I would have thrown them in.
The Yankees.
Incorrect. Think Western, more
the
Western.
Giants.
Correct.
The Mariners.
Correct. And the one that is in on them, based on your very inside sources.
Oh, the Texas Rangers.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go. Those are the 6 that he had. And
what does Woods know with the Texas Rangers?
We got to stop. We need to stop. Roki Watch, I think, needs to stop.
Well, I haven't told you who he predicted which team would land him yet. Would you like to know?
Yes.
The San Diego Padres.
We are setting ourselves up to just get...
100%.
We are setting ourselves up to just get killed, man. Yeah. To just get killed with this deal if it doesn't happen. The pain is going to be palpable. It's going to be immense when we see that notification pop up. Roki Sasaki has agreed to terms with the Giants or the Dodgers or the Rangers. It's going to hurt. That's actually one I hope doesn't come down while we're on the air. I hope it comes at 10:01.
He has based this prediction on, if you'd like to know,
guessing.
It's just guessing at this point, is what he said.
Is what he says. Yeah. I didn't even read it, but I could have told you that because
he
nobody knows.
He literally wrote, it's just guessing at this point. No one really knows what Roki Sasaki is thinking.
I read something over maybe this was BS. I saw it on Twitter, but I read that the White Sox did a really nice presentation for him, and they're in the mix. You just never know. You never know what a guy wants. So we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. And I think the other thing I'm disappointed about is him being the only one we are connected to, at all. And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow, too. And it just feels like if we don't get Roki, we're screwed. I don't know that that's the case, but it certainly feels like everyone's getting a little bit too excited.
It's the only real chance for an off-season win.
Correct.
Now, we've talked about how off-season wins and regular season wins are not always related. But in this case, it's the off-season. We're looking for an off-season win. And he's really, all of our eggs are right now in that Roki basket for an off-season win.
Yep.
So, there's some other ones if you want to go through some of the predictions of where they might land.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, not the San Diego Padres. Corbin Burns, not coming here, unfortunately. We get to that a little bit later. When we come back, big win last night for a local college basketball squad, and we'll play some Take on Woods as well next year on 97.3 The Fan. borrow from my guy Scott Van Pelt for a second. The best thing I saw last night, definitely the UCSD men's basketball team, Woods. I braved the Mountain West stream and their janky score logo at the bottom. It's just a nightmare.
Same score bug?
Same score bug. Same, just like the Aztecs game last week that we were complaining about. And found out that, pretty much every other college basketball fan in San Diego feels the same way about their very confusing, hard-to-read score graphic at the bottom of the screen.
I was laying in bed following along. I had some friends that were texting me about it. Oh, they might pull this off. And I had the ESPN app open and was just kind of checking back and forth on the game cast, they call it. Yep. And I go, why don't I just watch it on the app or whatever? I can't bring myself to seek out the Mountain West network.
I know it's
really
hard.
Bad.
It's the local Utah State announcers. But let me set the stage for what was going on last night. So UCSD, remember, has been transitioning from Division II to Division I, and for the last 4 years, they've been ineligible because of the rules to play in the NCAA tournament or even their conference tournament. It's just when you go from Division II to Division I, they make you wait for 4 years before anything good can really happen.
What's the logic behind that?
I have no earthly idea. To make it,
if you're D1, you should be eligible.
I think it's basically to keep you from like willy-nilly going up and down. Like, we don't have a great team the next couple of years. We're going to play in Division II, and we got a really good team this year. We're going to jump up to Division I. They want you to be really serious about it you go.
If you make this jump, you stay.
You're stuck. Yeah, you're committing to it.
Shouldn't that be the rule?
It's a very parent thing to do.
All
is.
right. So if we're getting this probation,
if we're getting this rabbit, you're taking care of it, and you've got to you got to feed it and water it and clean its fur.
Do you water a rabbit?
Well, you give it water. You water your dog? I water my dog.
Keep it in the sun. Get it some sunlight. A few hours a day. Yes.
So that's what a move to Division I is like. You have to
Ben, don't ever get a rabbit.
Please don't ever get a rabbit. Ben with his rabbit in the front yard poor rabbit's just sitting there getting flooded. Just a stream of water. I don't want that.
You should never get a rabbit. Please don't ever get a rabbit.
I'm allergic to rabbits. We're not getting a rabbit. So this is the first year that they're actually eligible. They're fully Division I basketball team, and they're off to a really good start. They had won 7 in a row, nearly beat San Diego State in that opener, had the lead in the second half. Won 7 straight, were 9-2, but Utah State, one of the few remaining unbeaten teams in the country, 10-0. And if you'll remember from when the Aztecs play there, Logan, Utah, their arena, the Glenn Smith Spectrum, one of the tougher places to play. They've got their own, the herd, I think they call it. It's like the show where they do the distracting on the free throws and they do the I believe chant. They always like to claim that they invented
winning
it.
Team, losing team, winning team, losing team.
And it's a tough place to go win, even for a team like San Diego State. So this was probably the biggest challenge that UCSD was going to face. First half, close game, back and forth. Utah State went on a little run at the end to take a 7-point lead at halftime. I go, okay, that's going to be tough to overcome in the second half.
Nope.
But I'm watching, and the senior Tyler McGuy for the Tritons just was on fire in the second half. Had an 8-0 run on his own late in the game. UCSD went up by like 7 points. It looked like it was over. Then they gave up a 4-point play, a 3-pointer and a foul to get it back to a 1-score game, and they had to nervously sink like 4 straight free throws after they were fouled, and they did it, and they held on for a 75-73 win to hand Utah State their first loss of the year, and for UCSD, probably the signature win in program history.
That's
their
so
best
cool,
ever
man.
Division I victory on the road. I think Utah State was ranked like 20th in the net rankings, so that is a premier program-defining win for UCSD last night, and it was a good game. It was a well-played game. They looked solid. They looked like they belonged out there with the real teams of Division I college basketball.
That's pretty solid, man. Your brother went there, yeah?
He did.
And your dad too, or just your brother?
My dad as well. Both of them
you
played on
guys.
the basketball team. Dad was the Division III era. Sam played as they were transitioning from Division III to Division II.
Nice.
Finished in Division II. Now, of course, the transition to Division I, and the program has just gotten better and better over the years.
Good for them, man.
So they're definitely going to be a contender in the Big West. If they win the Big West tournament, obviously they get to go to the NCAA tournament, for the first time. That's got to be the goal at this point, given how well they've started. Joe Lunardi has them in his bracketology as the automatic qualifier from the Big West. There are some good teams. UC Irvine's really good. UC Riverside's pretty tough, but I would imagine it'll come down to one of those three teams. And they've got USD coming up on Saturday at the Jenny Craig in the crosstown rivalry game, and then they get into Big West play, where regular season's probably. I doubt they can get an at-large bid.
That's what I was just going to ask you. They need to win the Big West.
If they really, if they went on a huge winning streak and had no losses or one loss in the Big West, my guess is they could get considered. But generally, the Big West is a one bid league, so you've got to win the tournament to get there. So it comes down to those last 3 games at the end of the year, whether you can win your conference tournament or not. But if you can go into Logan, Utah, and beat that team, then you can win the Big West tournament, no doubt about it. And, we could theoretically have 2 San Diego teams in the same NCAA tournament in the same year, which, of course, has never happened before.
That's pretty solid, man.
So that was pretty exciting to see last night, and congratulations to the UCSD Tritons on that big victory.
Like it.
We need a contestant for Take on Woods. If you want to call in right now, play our game, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. A chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas in March. Speaking of Las Vegas, that's where the NBA Cup final was held yesterday. Really good crowd for a Tuesday night at the T-Mobile Arena there. It was the Milwaukee Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I thought the Thunder were going to win, but no, it was the Giannis and the Bucks. Giannis, they've been playing well lately.
It was a good game at halftime. It was just a 1 point lead.
It was close, but then the Bucks pulled away in the second half. Giannis had a triple-double, I think, 26, 19, and 10. And remember, they got off to a slow start, but they have been playing well. They went undefeated in the NBA Cup tournament. But here's what I wanted to ask you. After the game, they had the champagne and the beer and everything in the locker room.
Yep.
They wouldn't touch it. Doc Rivers basically would not let his team celebrate. Superstitious or maybe smart. He had talked to Darvin Ham, who was the Lakers coach last year, and said, I don't know what it was that great for us to win that and celebrate, because I think the Lakers lost 10 of their next 13 games after winning.
That's quite a hangover.
The NBA Cup tournament.
It's quite a hangover.
He said, "We're not doing that this year. Congratulations on winning. They each get $500,000 in extra money, but they would not let them touch the champagne or the beer afterwards to celebrate the NBA Cup title.
They wouldn't let them.
Pretty much.
That's an odd.
They're grown-ups.
Hey, don't touch that champagne.
Don't touch it. That's weird to me. Hey, guys.
Maybe they didn't want to.
Have a couple beers. Can we do this and let's just have a couple beers and celebrate?
Keep it low key.
No, they went to the extreme. Losing 10 of your next 13.
Probably
a cautionary tale.
Yeah, there's no. One data point of the Lakers last year struggling after they won doesn't really prove or disprove anything. But you know how coaches are. If there's any chance that something could negatively impact their team, they're not going to take that risk.
Giannis said, too, he said, last time I drank a little bit of champagne when we won the championship, the real championship in 21. He said, I had a full body cramp. So maybe it came from him that was like, hey, let's keep grinding on this run to a real title, not an in-season tournament.
Do you guys ever see the NBA Cup really becoming must-watch television?
Watching the courts alone is enough to drive you insane after a while. It's cool for a second.
Would it be better if they pushed it back a little bit later in the season? It just feels like it's hard to. It's still so early in the year. Do we even know the Bucks will end up being good? They weren't actually last year. We think they should be with Giannis and Lillard.
Look, if you're a Bucks fan, are you elated this morning? I'm trying to put myself in the.
It just doesn't feel like there's much weight to it.
Do I even care at all?
You think tournament, you think postseason, a championship, and all that, and it's just bro, these are regular season games
that you can spice up.
Last night's game didn't even count in the regular season. It was the one that doesn't count.
The championship doesn't count.
So we played an extra game. You can spice up the regular season all you want. It's still going to be the regular season. Now, we as huge baseball fans, we know what a grind the regular season can be. And it can be, but for the most part in baseball, you get your same guys out there, if healthy, every single day. The NBA does not do that. They don't do that. So therein lies the problem. I know if I buy tickets to a Tuesday night game against the Miami Marlins, I'm seeing somebody on the team that I love. Whether it's Manny or Crony or Tatis, whoever, somebody's playing as long as they're healthy.
It's funny though. Speaking of Giannis, saying even a few sips of champagne and I was feeling it on the championship. There was a day when NBA players would go out for drinks after every game. Light up cigarettes,
Larry Bird smoked a pack of Cools
chain smoking after the game. Major League Baseball was even worse. I mean, you drink a 12-pack after every single game
smoking the tunnel
in the locker room. It just it's a different world now.
It is
for professional athletes.
It is.
All right, we got some contestants on the line. Let's play a little Take on Woods. We got Patrick lined up today to play Take on Woods, which is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Patrick, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I would love to get you into the drawing for our grand prize, 2-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino in March, and 2 tickets to Hoops Central, their big viewing party for the big college basketball extravaganza in the month with all of their high-def screens, luxury seating, table service, and more. For tickets, go to WestgateResorts.com. Book one of their newly renovated rooms after they did $70 million in room renovations. All right, here are your categories for your matchup against Woods. We got prog rock still there. 5 questions about progressive rock bands. Spit on That Thing, which is song titles with the word thing. That's a 2-second song category. And our new category today is the mystery category, which you'll figure out if you get the first one right. I think it's one of the more simple ones, but it's up to you to pick the category. Prog rock, Spit on That Thing, and mystery category. Patrick?
Let's go with Spit on That Thing.
Here we go. All right, it's all music today, an all 2-second song category. And every song title ends with the word thing. The last word of every title is thing. But to score the point, you not only need the title, you also need to name the artist, Patrick. So you'll do your 5. Pass if you don't know one. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. Then Woods does his 5. You beat or tie him, we'll put you in the drawing for Vegas. You ready to play, Patrick?
Ready.
Paul, you're good with all 5 songs? All right.
I'm ready.
We are good. All right, the category Spit on That Thing. You'll have 60 seconds. Your time begins when Paul plays the first song. Good luck, Patrick. Let's take on Woods.
Wild Thing, I'll pass on the artist.
All right, song number 2.
I could stay awake just to hear you breathing.
Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Correct. Song number 3.
Sexy Thing, oh, man. Oh, guys. Pass on the artist.
Pass on the band. Song number 4.
Pass.
All right, song number 5.
Higher and higher, baby.
That's Kilo.
It is?
Oh, what is the name of that? Living Thing?
It is. Let's go back to the first song. Give me the artist.
Quickly.
Don't know that one. The sexy thing is Hot Chocolate.
It is. That's the third one, and the fourth one. Time's up. All right, we got 3. Not bad. Not bad. You got You Sexy Thing, Hot Chocolate. It's Living Thing by Electric Light Orchestra. And I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith, correct? And you missed Wild Thing by Tone Loc and Good Thing by Fine Young Cannibals. I don't know. This is an interesting one. Woods is pretty good on these songs.
Let's see.
3's not bad. He doesn't get the category. Fun game here today, Woods. Patrick's score is locked in. All I will tell you is this is an all 2-second song category.
Okay.
So get ready to identify song titles and artists when Paulie plays them. 60 seconds back on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Patrick.
Tone Loc, Wild Thing.
Correct. Song number 2.
I could stay away.
I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Aerosmith.
Correct. Song number 3.
Sexy Thing, You Sexy Thing. I'll come back. I don't know.
Song number 4.
Fine Young Cannibals.
Correct.
Is it Cool Thing?
It's not Cool Thing. Song number 5.
Higher and higher, baby.
It's ELO.
Yeah.
That word.
Ooh.
Taint Thing.
No. You've got anything left here? Yeah.
That's I Believe in Miracles.
No.
No, that's
No, you're off.
Sexy Thing.
Yeah,
I'm broke.
You're done. And you lose 3-2, Patrick. You pulled off a win today in Spit on That Thing. That's 5 song titles that all end in the word
God
thing. So,
it's hard to imagine why Ben doesn't get invited to places.
What in the
You
world?
Sexy Thing is by Hot Chocolate.
Hot Chocolate.
That was Good Thing, not Cool
Good
Thing,
Thing
by Fine Young Cannibals. That was the difference. And then It's a Living Thing by ELO.
Damn it.
Patrick, stay on the line. Paulie will get your information. A well-played game. I hope that's not an omen, because the final game of the year is Friday. We have one game left of Take On Woods. You gotta give him that huck. We'll play a little Real or Fake tomorrow. But on Friday, we have our grand championship. Multiple categories. Woods against John Flint, who is also very good at this game, to determine the 2024 champion of Take On Woods.
I'm so nervous, I can't even tell you.
We're going to get Bobby Cressy involved.
Jay says sometimes it seems like Woods just lets some people win. You don't know me very well at all.
Woods never lets anybody win.
Never.
He doesn't get the category. It's if you knew right away that every song ended in the word thing, your brain would be firing faster.
I didn't know it was Hot Chocolate. And I don't know that what was it? Good Thing?
Good Thing.
That one I might have gotten.
Yeah. I'm surprised we played the ELO song. We played right up to "It's a Living Thing." So in your mind, if you had the lyrics, I thought you were going to get that one.
Mm-mm.
But Patrick got that one, and that was the difference.
Damn it! Did you really do a category called "Spit on That Thing"?
Yeah, because that ends in the word "thing."
Fuck to it.
He gets so horny at the end of the year. This is like his.
I prefer to think I get so clever at the end of the year.
This is like his peak season.
All right, so one game left on Friday. There's not going to be no handicaps. There's no you don't get the category or anything.
No, just walk in.
It's all
mano-y-mano.
It's all mano-y-mano on Friday.
I'm gonna vomit. Bring a vomit bag for your old pal Woods.
All right, we'll come back. Don't Do This is coming up next.
Yes, it is.
I had
an NBA promotion that went pretty wrong.
Yes.
Did you see this one?
I did.
I'm not exactly sure of all the details, but it definitely went wrong, and we'll tell you how coming up next after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Our longest running segment, Don't Do This. It's made it through another year here, 2024, assuming we're going to get to it tomorrow. But, I mean, we've pretty much made it through another year of Don't Do This. And you never know who's going to find themselves in the crosshairs. Today, it is the Charlotte Hornets, who are hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. And as NBA teams do, in-game entertainment. Woods, you know all about that, working with the Seals.
Yep.
During timeouts, they have bits, and they have fans involved in interactive games and stuff. And in this one, they had their mascot dressed up as Santa Claus, and they had kids down at the court, and they were giving them out really cool prizes, including one kid who got a brand new PlayStation 5.
Woo, that's a score.
Very good. Christmas season, those are hard to get, PlayStation 5. The only problem was, as soon as he walked off the court, they told the kid, "Oh, this was just a bit. You got to give back the PlayStation now. Here,
unbelievable.
Take a Hornets jersey though." But that was theater of the mind. We're not actually giving you a PlayStation. I mean, you can understand why the kid might have thought, "Oh, they're giving me a PlayStation in front of all these people. I get to keep it." No. That was just a skit.
How did they think they were going to get away with this in the year 2024, almost 25? You don't think mom and dad are going to be a little pissy about that?
It got publicized. Now they are backtracking, as you can imagine, and they said they are looking for a way to make things right.
Just give me the prize that I already won.
I would imagine would be Here's the quote. During last night's game, there was an on-court skit that missed the mark. Missed the mark.
It's a skit.
The skit included bad decision-making and poor communication. Simply put, we turned the ball over and we apologize. We've reached out to the family and are committed to not only making it right, but to exceeding expectations. We will be providing the fan with the PS5 that he should have taken home last night, along with a VIP experience to a future game.
It'd be like us saying...
Let him chuck a 3 if he wants.
Yeah. It'd be like us saying, hey, if you come to the Christmas and holiday extravaganza, we'll give you each $1,000. They show up, and no, we said 1,000 doll hairs. That's what we're going to give you.
Monopoly money.
Monopoly money. Oh, what? I mean...
Or we give it to them, then when they get to the elevators...
Yeah, we take it back.
Well, by the way, it's $1,000 to get out of the building.
Yes, exactly. What in the world were you possibly... What could even... Who signed off? Somebody's got to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And somebody said, it's a great idea. Fake it. Fake giving a little kid a PS5. And then we'll just take the empty... Stuff it with whatever you want to stuff it with.
People are going to think we're amazing.
Yeah, people
we're
think we're
away
brilliant.
These great gifts.
Hey, kid, give me that thing back. Actually, we're going to give you a jersey instead. Stupid. I mean, it's so easy not to step in doo-doo sometimes, right?
That seems very
That one seemed pretty easy.
People go looking for it. They're like, I can't believe this is all over my shoe now. Well, you just jumped right in it. You saw it, you jumped in it.
Rob says, like the young lady that thought she won a Toyota, not a toy Yoda.
A toy Yoda. That's actually pretty clever. That's pretty clever.
It's different if you're doing it to an adult as well.
I love this when this happens, when the rookie hazing for football teams and baseball teams happens. I always think it's hysterical. But Johnny Newton, who plays for the Washington Commanders, they all went out for a big team dinner, and well, they stuck the bonus baby Johnny Newton, Ben, with a huge dinner bill. He was posting videos on his Instagram showing what all the guys had ordered. The total for the dinner last night was a robust $9,547.54. They're showing the waiter pouring glasses of Louis Trey brandy for all the guys. There were some very expensive meats and things like that as well. But he signed a contract, 4-year deal for about $10 million. He's got the money. $9,000 though. They brought the rookie out and said, "Hey, we're eating tonight. We're eating good, and it's on you." High
Some
price
of these
meats and
hazing
sides.
dinners are getting pretty out of control.
All I picture, you know what I picture, is him.
Yeah.
Going with all the guys, and he's so happy to be invited with all the guys on the team. You guys are all on the O-line, and they bring him out, and they're like...
I'd actually enjoy part of that, like treating everybody to a good dinner. The part that would bother me is when people are ordering things they don't really want or need just to
stick
drive
it to you?
just to drive up the price of the bill. Like, no, absolutely. Let's go to a great meal. We're going to order good stuff. But then when you just throw in, can I get 2 extra lobsters and can I get
Louis Trey?
Yeah, can I get the most expensive of this? Do you even like it? Not really.
Not really.
You know, like that would probably bother me.
Since when, by the way, Ben?
If I had the money, I would like doing that. I don't have the money to go to a $10,000 dinner.
Did you get your invite?
No.
Hey,
Yeah,
I just wanted to treat you guys.
Where are these $10,000 dinners happening?
But I mean, if I signed a huge contract,
right.
I think I would like to do that for people. I think I would.
$10,000. He was not happy. He could be heard saying "F out of here" as he dropped the coin on the check. 10 G's. 10.
All right, finally, a little do this.
DD mega
Cool story. You see a lot of former athletes getting into coaching and sometimes going into college, sometimes going back to high school to coach their teams. And NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater did the latter. Went back to his high school in Miami and led them to a state championship this year. Miami Northwestern won the state title, but here was the surprise. He announced just yesterday, my high school team knows that's the plan. We wanted to win a state championship, and then coach goes back to the league. See what happens, then come back February in the offseason, continuing coaching high school football. We'll see how it plays out. So Teddy Bridgewater, after coaching his high school to a state title, says he may want to get back into the NFL and see if there's a job out there for him next year. He's still only 32 years old. He's not timed out here from NFL eligibility.
We're out here watching Desmond Ridder and the Jake whatever from the Saints. I'll take Teddy Bridgewater over either of those
Over
guys.
15,000 career yards, 75 touchdowns, 47 interceptions. I mean, he had a couple pretty decent seasons, couple of pretty not decent seasons, but compared to some of the guys who are out there right now, Teddy Bridgewater could be a worthwhile depth option somewhere. Maybe even in the playoffs for a team, the Atlanta Falcons might be interested. We'll talk about that a little bit later, I think, in the Roundel Report. And that is Don't and Do This for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, Major League Baseball yesterday released a 62-page study trying to answer the question, what's the deal with all these pitching
with all
injuries?
These Tommy Johns?
Yeah, and the results, not all that shocking. It's what happens next, I think, is what's interesting. And we'll get to that coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's get into it.
And not a big shock, actually. Major League Baseball's 62-page study on pitching injuries. In fact, I want to know, what did they pay for this study? Obviously, they had experts putting in lots of hours. And, when it comes to companies like Major League Baseball, they tend to overpay for things like this. Are we talking like in the millions that this study cost? We'll give you the results of what it said right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
We saw this crash on westbound 8 past the 163. It's now over to the right shoulder. Got a number of stalled vehicles southbound side of the 805 before Palm Avenue. Stalled big rig over to the right shoulder. Also a stalled car on southbound 15 before Adams Avenue. It's in the center divide. Stall on southbound 5 before La Jolla Village Drive. Looks like that is in the center divide. On the coastline, southbound 5 before Cannon. We have reports of a stalled pickup truck that is over the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Woods, how much would you have charged them to come up with these results on pitching injuries, the factors leading to an increase in arm injuries in recent years?
I don't know what a study like that goes for, but I will say this, man. One of the most interesting things I read about it yesterday was somebody made the point that once the kid gets to the big leagues, the people at the big league level are basically just cleaning up the messes from everybody else that's ever worked with these kids. I think there are big league pitching coaches and big league organizations that probably don't do it the right way, right? I do. I mean, even at the highest level, I think, you're going to see teams that have more arm injuries than others. It's just a fact. And, not to single out the world champion LA Dodgers, but they're one of them. They are one of them. And I don't know what it stems from, Ben. I don't know if it's the amount of spin they want. I don't know if it's the velocity at which they crave. But I do know this. It has to start now here at a local level with coaches such as myself and anybody else out there that coaches kids. And I was talking to a dad last week. His son, who I know very well, was playing in an 8U tournament up in Menifee or something. And he said, dude, I said, how is it? It's his travel ball team. And I said, how's he doing? Because he's a baller. He goes, he's doing good. He says, a lot. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of wear and tear. He said, we played a team that we're at 8U, okay? One kid threw 5 innings. And I said, I go, you're joking. He goes, no. He threw 5 innings. He was really good, but he threw 5 innings. He's 8 years old. I go, dude, that is malpractice. It has to stop. There needs to be, this is the needle that you thread as a coach of the youth. It's okay. I tell Bo all the time, buddy, it's okay to want to win a game. I want you to want to be a winner. I like to be a winner. I like to coach my kids to a win. That's a great thing. It's hard to say, there needs to be less of an emphasis on winning and more of an emphasis on development, okay? While also letting your kids know, hey, losing sucks and you should play really hard not to lose. But the coaches are the ones that make the decisions. The coaches are the ones that say, hey, Billy, get out there and give me 5 innings. I know you're 8 years old. I know you probably can't even dress yourself. I know your mom tied your shoes, but I need you to go out there on the mound and I need you to give me 5 strong today. That's garbage. It's BS. If you're a coach that's doing it, you're ruining the game of baseball. And you're ruining it, and you're probably taking some of the joy out of it for these kids. No kid needs to be a workhorse on the mound at 8 years old. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. So it has to start with me. It has to start with you listening right now, running your teams.
I don't disagree with you, but let's say in the ideal world that every coach, parent makes that change, and they're very careful, play multiple sports, baseball only in the spring, keep the pitch counts to a minimum, and we're really careful with young arms going forward. It's still not going to change, to me, the ultimate end result, because in this study, they cited factors that also included players chasing higher velocity and better stuff while exerting maximum effort more often to do so. Not just in games, but also out of games.
Absolutely. And so I think, though, if you don't, I honestly, in my mind, Like the perfect scenario is there's no pitching until you're 10 years old. 10, maybe even 11. You're hitting off machines, you're hitting off coaches, whatever. Let's start developing the love of the game, the attention to detail on the field. Let's start let's start finding out who's a good third baseman, who's a good shortstop, who's a good second baseman, who's a good first baseman. Let's teach them how to be the best at that position. And let's do coach pitch. Let's do machine pitch. No 8, 9, 10-year-old needs to be out there throwing 65, 70 pitches yet. So again, let's build arm programs to strengthen our arms and things like that. Let's use the Jaeger bands and all that stuff. Let's use the plyo balls, but let's not have these kids out there throwing 150 pitches in a weekend.
Still, I think the ultimate core of the problem, no one wants to have to get Tommy John surgery,
right?
Correct? No one wants to end up with CTE after playing football for decades. No boxer wants to end up with Parkinson's because they took so many, punches to the head.
Yeah.
But why do they keep doing it? Why don't they just stop? Because they get paid a ton of money to do it. And guess which pitchers get paid the most money?
The ones that throw hard.
The guys who throw the hardest and have the best stuff. So as long as you have a financial reward for continuing to chase higher velocity and more stuff, and you get paid more for exerting more torque on your elbow and your arm, you're never going to get guys to stop doing the things that ultimately end up damaging their arms because they cash in with big contracts. And then they get the Tommy John surgery, and they're still getting paid. They're gonna keep doing it.
If we start,
there's no way to stop it.
If we start now, and then it goes from little league to high school, and those coaches take care of their kids' arms. Then it goes to college. You saw the Vanderbilt pitcher a couple years ago. What did he throw? 162 pitches in a game. They're in the World Series. Like, hey man, I'm trying. He's a coach. He gets paid to coach and win. Like, I kind of get it, but I'm also like, you're not doing Kumar Rocker any favors by throwing him 162 pitches in a winner-take-all game. Now, again, here's the funny thing. They wouldn't do that in the big leagues. They would never throw a pitcher 162 innings. Why? Because he's too valuable. They would never. They're cleaning up the messes from all the levels below them. And if you start early and you develop arm strength programs and you can build up your velo, and yeah, man, when you get to high school, there are kids that throw 96, 97 miles an hour. The other thing that you're never going to be able to get out of the game ever is a very simple one. Ego. You're going to tell a kid with 98 in the tank, bro, just throw 94 and dot it on the corner. No. Every kid, every adult at 49 years old that plays adult ball is like, I'm going to give you the best one I got. Now, there needs to be an emphasis on location, pitching, arm strength, all of that. Benny, it's one of those problems that you look at and you go, it feels unsolvable. Like you'd need a complete and total reset.
I saw some suggestions out there. Hey, at least give them like bigger seams so they don't have to put so much torque to put as much spin on the ball. Well, that will come with additional problems. I don't think that they'll just spin it less because they have better seams. They'll just spin it harder, and it's going to be harder to hit. And you're going to have more strikeouts, less offense.
When I was in high school and we would get the balls before the game, if I was pitching, I would turn around, and I would get those balls, and I would bite down on the seams to try to get a bigger seam so that I could spin it more, right? Like, you give me a bigger seam, I'm just going to try to spin it even harder than that. It's almost a foregone conclusion that if your child pitches at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and he gets to the next level, it's almost a foregone conclusion that Tommy John's coming. And you're talking about sophomores in high school, like, screw it, just give it to me now so that I can pitch my senior year and maybe get drafted. It's not right. I don't want it for my kids, and my kids love baseball. They both have cannons for arms, but I don't want my kid out there throwing 65, 70 pitches next season when he goes into kid pitch. Like, it's got to start here, and I just don't know. I don't know how you do the full reset, Benny. You
can't. We know
travel ball industry, the college sports, the high school, it's such money makers.
Clearly, your heart is in the right place. You get it. You understand the issues, and you want to be responsible. But let's say let's make you the general manager of a Major League Baseball team, and you've got to decide who to draft. You drafting the kid who throws 99 or you're drafting the kid who throws 92 but can pitch deep into a game into the 7th and 8th inning, knowing you're never going to pitch a guy into the game 7th or 8th inning, because that doesn't take away the penalty of the 3rd and 4th time through the order. You only need guys to pitch through 5 or 6 innings, because it's dumb really to pitch them longer than that at this point. You're just hurting your team. So you want the guy that throws 99 for 5 innings. I think guys are going to continue to train themselves to throw 99 for 5 innings rather than 92 for 7 or 8, because there's no value to it anymore.
And there are guys that, with the right mechanics, the right programs, that can go pitch and pitch pretty healthily throughout the season. I think every pitcher with that damage that you put on your elbow and your shoulder and all that, your rotator cuff, you're going to be injured. I mean, everyone wants to point at Nolan Ryan. The guy's a unicorn. I don't know what to tell you. He was a country-ass dude that threw 100 miles an hour when he was 18 years old. He's a freak. He's a unicorn. Not everybody's Nolan Ryan. But I'll tell you, Benny, if it comes down to it, no offense to Randy Jones and Nolan Ryan, I got to draft one of them. I'm taking Nolan Ryan, right? I get it. Randy Jones, artful. He was a craftsman on the mound, but he doesn't get drafted these days. And I'll be honest, I understand why. I understand why you wouldn't draft. People would look at you like you're insane if you're like, I got this guy or this guy who's going to spit 82 fastball. I can't take this guy. I'm going to lose my job, right? So it's an ego thing. It's a scientific thing. The harder you throw, I mean, you're going to get weaker contact, which means fewer runs, fewer hits. And I don't know the answer. All I know is what I can control. I can't control what the big leagues do. I can control my kids, not blowing their arms out at 8, 9, 10 years old. It's sick to see.
So ultimately, the conclusions here, the further study on the issue is needed, according to the report. The league understands creating a system where pitchers are encouraged or required to moderate their activity and throw at sub-maximum effort to go deeper into the games may be better for pitcher health. This is the whole talk about 6-inning minimums for starters. It's not necessarily to turn back the clock to the days you remember in the past. This is a way that perhaps you could limit pitching injuries by limiting the number of players on a staff. If you only have 12 pitchers, you can't simply go to the bullpen all the time because you don't have the bullpen to go to. So your starters have to pitch deeper into the games. Your bullpen guys might have to pitch 2 innings, so they can't throw 100 on every pitch. They simply can't do it. I think my question is, even if you tried to do that, would guys really, knowing what is on the line,
ego, dude. I just told you. It's like
wins.
I've got 98 in the tank, and you're asking me to go out there and throw 92, but I can.
And I just gave up a home run.
I
don't want to do that again.
I want to blow this guy away.
I can strike this guy out if I use my good stuff, but if you make me use my bad stuff, he's going to rip me.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the Sophie's choice. That's like, I don't want an arm injury, but
and listen,
I also don't want to get cut from the team because I didn't get these guys out.
Here's the thing, too, man, is like, you're telling I don't know S from Shinola about how to develop a pitcher, but what I do know is we're putting all this emphasis on little league coaches to go out there and be the arbiters of arm care. Like, all we know is what we read and what we do research on and things like that, man. But I'm telling you, you're relying on a volunteer dad that sells insurance on the weekend to actually go out and try to develop pitching. Not every little league can have a pitching coach that's able to come in and develop an arm care program. I get that, man, but it's an epidemic. And for me, it starts with this whole travel ball scene and this whole. And my son's on a development team right now. He will be playing travel ball. There's no question. So far, the way that our guys do it, I couldn't be happier. You know why? Because we haven't started pitching yet. We haven't started pitching. And once that happens, I'm like, bro, my kid throws good and throws hard. I don't want him out there for 70 pitches.
Andy in our chat says, I faced Joe Musgrove in Mustang League. Dude was pitching every game, hitting bombs. Would be curious to hear his story about arm care over the years. Joe takes as good of care of himself as anyone. Yep. His training, his regimen. I mean, the guy is on point about it. And guess what?
Yeah, still got hurt.
Tommy John.
It's
almost inevitable nowadays. Paul, you got some thoughts here?
I do. It's kind of already been said. I agree. I don't want to make it sound like travel ball is bad.
No,
I don't think
we're
so.
in it.
I when I was in high school, when I was a kid, like you had to be a nut to play travel ball in middle school. It was a high school thing.
Yep.
And I played for 2 years and I enjoyed it. Now there's a lot of scammy aspects of travel ball. Like, hey, we're going to go to this showcase and you're going to get looked at by college coaches.
Bad travel ball is bad.
Happens. However, I wasn't doing it because of that. I was doing it because I got to go to Omaha for 2 weeks
and play with your
in a
friends.
tournament and just play baseball during the summer every single day. But when I was coaching high school baseball, I was the head coach of the freshman team. So I had 14, 15-year-old arms. And I just told them, I said, hey, during the season, the spring season, no travel ball. I don't want you pitching once a week for me and then pitching, 2 games on Saturdays and Sundays for another team. Like, I need you focused here. I need your arm and energy and everything here. But these kids, they want to play so much.
They want to play.
I don't know what to do. I really don't.
It feels again like an unsolvable problem. And as long as you chase velo, and as long as you chase high stress pitches and all that, like it's gonna happen. Maybe you need more pitchers.
I hate thinking that there are unsolvable problems.
I know
it
does.
Dire. This one feels like a tough one. All right, we'll come back. We got Ben and Woods wrapped and more coming up in hour number 3 next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Halfway home on a Wednesday, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. A lot of good discussion about the topic we just had about pitching injuries, and I think there's a lot to talk about. Certainly, there's a lot of concern, and it feels like one of those problems that's never going to be solved. But I think doing our part as youth coaches can definitely help, and it just feels like this is going to be going on for a while. But we can get back into it if you want. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer, and Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. I understand what you're saying, Benny, about who do you draft? You draft the kid that throws the hardest. I mean, that's just kind of where it is. I mean, that's just where we are right now. You draft a kid with tools. You draft a kid with potential, with ceiling. That's what a draft is.
You mentioned Nolan Ryan as a unicorn. How about the other end of the spectrum? Another unicorn, Jamie Moyer, pitched until he was like 51 in Major League. You know what I mean? He threw a 72-mile-an-hour changeup that he mastered.
Should not be able to get outs.
He's one in a billion. Though.
Yeah, it's just
one in a billion.
Last thing for me on this, and I know this is going to sound a little heartless, but that's why I'm the one who's saying it.
Fair.
Is it really a problem? Who is it a problem for? Teams don't like paying $25 million for a pitcher who's out for 13 months. And obviously, as fans, we like to see those guys. Yeah. But ultimately, we're entertained by the pitchers who throw hard and strike out guys. And we like to see it.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to keep cheering for those guys. And if part of the reality is that they got to get Tommy John surgery at some point, you just kind of assume it's going to happen.
You really do. It's like a foregone conclusion.
Take Roki Sasaki. In my mind, you've got him for 6 years, but he's going to miss 1.5 of those with his surgery at some point. But you still have him for 4.5 years.
You kind of factor it in.
I kind of factor it in at this point.
You gave Max Fried 8 years knowing he's probably not going to pitch. He's probably not going to pitch every start for 8 years.
Kind of the price of
cost of doing business.
Yeah. And, it's up to the teams to determine what they think pitching is worth. They're the ones giving out these contracts knowing there's a really good chance these guys are going to get Tommy John surgery.
It does feel like when you're watching a young pitcher, especially think about Paul Skeens, who how I feel about Paul Skeens. I love Paul Skeens. I see these TikToks and these Instagram reels about his arm care routine. It's insane. It's insane. He's obviously very, very serious about it. He does things differently. A little bit on the cutting edge. Yamamoto has that javelin that he throws. People do different things to get their arm in shape. But with Paul Skeens, watching him pitch, I just watch him and go, yeah, it's if. It's not if, it's when it happens for a guy with that kind of stuff, with that much velo, that much spin.
The problem is you can care for your arm, strengthen your arm so much. You can't do anything with the ligaments. They are what they are. And actually, the more you do to strengthen your arm, sometimes the worse that makes it for ligaments. There's just nothing you can do. You can't work them out. Can't bulk them up. They work until they give out, and then you need to get them replaced.
Is there some aspect of we have just reached our limit as human beings?
There's a huge aspect of that too.
30 years ago, what was the average miles per hour in Major League? 94, 95?
Right.
A couple guys would throw 96, 98 kind of in there.
You'd see that guy coming in 92-mile-an-hour heater. You're like, whoo,
now, every pitcher can throw 95 miles an hour in Major League Baseball. In 30 years from now, is 110 going to be, the standard? I don't think so. Can the arm physically, have we reached the limit? I don't know.
I mean, and it's what, again, how do you teach, how do you slam the brakes on and say, no. Let's just work on location. Let's work on two-seam run. Let's work on your changeup falling off the table. Yes, you can work on those things, and you absolutely should if you want to go to the next level. But you better have 98 in the tank these days. You just better have it.
And by the way, there's plenty of guys who threw 93, 94 and still had Tommy John surgery.
That's true. It's just more.
There's a lot of genetics have to play, a lot of it. Luck. Some guys were born with stronger ligaments than others.
Nolan Ryan was one of those guys.
Yeah, I would venture to say he probably was.
And Ben nailed it, though. It's the big shiny prize at the end of all of the 20 years of work that you put in. You're hoping to get that big fat contract in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
that's the big shiny prize at the end of all of this. And you're just sitting there and you're like, back in my day, it was when it was baseball season, you played baseball. Then in the winter, you played basketball. Like, kids are like, I don't want to do that. I want to only play baseball because that's what I want. I want that $400 million contract.
I will say, every big leaguer that I've ever spoken to, every single one to a man, and every single big leaguer that I see on social media, every single one, I've never, ever seen one say, not one, say, oh, the way to the big leagues, play as much baseball as you can. Play 365 days a year. You play till you can't play anymore. Take as many. Never.
It's funny.
I've never seen
I've heard basketball players say, "Yeah, get out there every day and shoot 1,000 threes."
Yep,
and
golfers
go
1,000
to the
swings.
range 8 hours a day. But baseball players don't say that.
I have
they
never,
really don't.
ever seen one that said you need to be playing on 3 teams, you need to be playing in high school
I
and
guess
travel.
Football players would probably say the same thing, too.
Yeah.
A lot of football players played basketball because they're just big dudes or something.
It's
You can't play football year-round.
You can't.
That would be ridiculous. Maybe we need to start thinking of baseball more like football. The damage to your body is similar to football, not in a contact sense, but in an exertion sense. It's like football. You would never ask a guy to play, tackle football in the fall and then another tackle season. Yeah, maybe you'll do some
spring,
7-on-7 light spring workouts, but
7-on-7.
baseball has to start, taking it that way. Anything in the spring is just like machine pitch.
Well,
There's no more pitching in the spring or in the fall, whatever.
The thing is like the kids, you listen to your kids, and if I listen to my kids, and he's been great. He's like, yesterday his buddies wanted to play baseball, and he goes, no, it's football season, so we played football. And guess what he's doing? He's still throwing. He's throwing a football, but he's running and he's playing and he's having a great time because he's 7 years old almost, and that's what he should be doing. But there will come a time when he's like, Dad, all my friends are playing on this team. I want to play, and that's when I, as a parent, have to go either okay, or I don't think it's a good idea. I think you need to stick to soccer or basketball.
You don't see many quarterbacks get Tommy John surgery, even though they're throwing it a ton and they throw it hard. But it's the specific motion of overhand throwing a baseball.
And spinning it.
Softball pitchers never get Tommy John.
Because it's the natural way.
It's a natural way your arm moves, but it's an unnatural motion. Even with football, they're not trying to put a bunch of spin on it.
No.
It's a much more natural
Well, they
throw.
spin it, but they're not trying to...
Not to
make it curve.
Yeah, they're not to make...
Hey, this guy throws a mean two-seamer.
I don't have kids. I'm not on the 8, 9, 10-year-old Little League circuits, so I don't know. But I would imagine there's kids trying to throw sliders at that age and curveballs. And
I see it.
I mean, what were you guys told? I remember being told you're not old enough
Don't
yet.
throw a curveball.
You can't throw a curveball until you're 13.
The funniest thing
there's
is...
no actual... rule to it, but you got to be developed a little bit more.
There's, the funny thing is like, when I was growing up, it was, oh man, all you need is a 2-seam, 4-seam, and a changeup. A changeup can absolutely rip your arm to shreds if you don't know what you're doing. A curveball thrown the right way was actually fairly safe. I mean, it's fair. It's as safe as throwing a 2-seam or 4-seam. That's all these mentalities need to change. That data needs to be out there to some of the parents that are out there. But the kids, I mean, Bo does it when he looks at me and he smiles and then he rips like a curveball at me. I'm like, enough. We don't want to do that right now. So yeah, they go play with their buddies and, hey, watch this, watch my curve and watch my slider. And it just, you got to get it out of their heads. But Benny, you make a good point. Treating baseball as a seasonal thing instead of a year-round thing, I think will benefit in the long run. But then they get to the next level. And the high school coach is like, I get paid to win baseball games. And then you get to college, like, I really get paid to win baseball games.
Most high school programs, by the way, it's not just a spring. That's the official season. They have a fall season. They have summer ball. They have spring, workouts throughout the year. Winter workouts. Like, it's just the way it is.
I mean, college coaches are some of the worst.
The worst.
For on pitchers.
Oh,
because,
100%.
The stakes are higher. The contracts are bigger for the coaches. And... it's hard to explain to the boosters. Well, why didn't you make it to the College World Series? You had this great pitcher. Well, I wanted to protect his arm, so we had to throw a guy who wasn't as good, and we ended up losing. And okay, no one wants to give up their 6-figure plus job because they were the guy who wanted to pitch. You wouldn't let him because you were worried about his future in 7 years.
Yeah, and think about some of the notorious guys in the big leagues, the Dusty Bakers of the world, the Mark Pryors, the Kerry Woods. Now, those guys, Kerry Wood probably would have gotten hurt anyway with the way he spun it. But, Mark Pryor had potentially the greatest mechanics that I've ever seen a pitcher have. He was perfect. You look it up. He was perfect. Perfect. What happened? Overuse. Got hurt. The guy should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer with as hard as he threw, the stuff that he threw, and his mechanics. And look what happened, man. It's also luck plays a tremendous, tremendous part in it. What organization you're with plays a tremendous part in it as well. It's just, it's really, really tough. It's tough. It's a tough problem to solve. Did they get to the bottom of any of this other than stop chasing velo, which they're never going to do?
No, which is why it's funny that whatever they paid for this study, we probably could have told them all of these things already. It's kind of intuitive why the injuries are up in Major League Baseball. And
everybody knows there's a problem, but nobody knows what the answer is.
So Angelo brings this up. He says, starters pitch only once a week in the Japanese league. How are they doing with arm injury? So here's the thing. I watched that documentary on how Japanese youth baseball, they throw like 4 hours a day. And so I grew up hearing the Japanese kids are throwing long toss for 5 hours a day. I'm like, how is that good for a 12, 13-year-old, right? So here's the bottom line is nobody knows anything. And it's person dependent. And but yeah, I mean, look, Japanese pitchers get hurt. Japanese pitchers get hurt all the time. And I like the idea of a 6-man rotation. I do. I don't know that baseball will ever fully adopt it. You can't make a team throw a 6-man rotation, I would imagine. They do a 5-man rotation for a reason.
Well, it's just harder to come up with 6 decent pitchers. It's hard to come up with 5 decent pitchers nowadays.
Yep.
That just feels like the minimum for the most part.
Yeah.
A good high-level discussion, I'd say, guys.
Yeah.
For the baseball wonks in the audience. I hope you appreciated that. I want to get a little more philosophical when we come back. The news that broke yesterday, last night, into this morning, that Michael Vick is taking the head coaching job at Norfolk State. Now, I don't know much about Norfolk State football. But
do you know more about Norfolk State? It's Norfolk, I think they say. Norfolk.
There's an L. Norfolk.
I know, but I don't think they pronounce it. Norfolk State. And not Sacramento State, as we discussed Michael Vick going to Sacramento State yesterday.
Right. He was always talking with both schools. I think the interesting thing, though, here is Michael Vick and the passage of time. And obviously we all know what he did and why he went to prison. And, he has done a lot since then to try to get back into the good graces of society. And this is another big step for him. Some people are ready for it. Others may never be.
Anthony says this is some boring-ass sports radio. We got a couple days left, Anthony. Thanks for being here, buddy.
We will talk about Michael Vick when we come back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Norfolk, but the way that you say it, Paulie just played the pronunciation on the air. You can't play that on the air. It is Nor F word.
It's Norfolk.
Yeah, but they don't say Norfolk.
Like those old stories, they're folk tales.
Not. I like the. Yeah, I could listen to you spin a few F tales. That's a great segment. F tales with Ben. Fire away, my friend. I'm sure your mom appreciates listening to that.
Yeah, we can't. I can't even play the.
You can't play the pronunciation. I told you.
NOR and then the word.
That's how they say it. Like Prescott, Arizona is not Prescott. It's Prescott. Nevada is not Nevada.
More like
it's
Triscuit.
It's Nevada.
Prescott.
Nevada.
Yeah,
you don't say.
It's not tomato. It really is tomato.
It's not. It's
Nevada.
It's not Louisville.
I got
it's
a
not.
page.
It's not Louisville. It's Louisville.
I got a page here. It's from Visit Norfolk, .com, and this is how do you say it? Norfolk, 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 Norfolk.
The pronunciation.
I won't say it on the air.
The pronunciation lady goes, Nor F word.
We couldn't even play it.
No, you can't play it.
It's so clear. The one that always gets me. It's Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, not
it's
Gonzaga.
Not Gonzaga, the Zags.
Tempe, Arizona.
Tempe?
Not Tempe.
Tempe.
No, Tempe. It's Tempe.
Tempe.
It's Tempe.
Tempe.
Yep. Tempe. Concord, New Hampshire is Concord.
It's not
not Concord.
Concord grapes, but Concord.
Yeah.
Like They were defeated. They were completely conquered.
We got a gift from this is gift day. The Christmas and holiday extravaganza.
I was going to hold on to that for a little bit.
You want to hang on to it?
Just for a second.
All right, I'm going to read.
Because the reason we were talking about
Bensonitas, not Encinitas.
Norfolk, or however it's pronounced, is that's where Michael Vick is reportedly and accepting the job as the new head coach at Norfolk State. It's now hard to do this story.
You did it fast.
Just the faster you do it, the probably better off you are.
Yeah.
And this is having, going to have people in their feels.
Still?
Obvious. I think so. I remember when...
Oh, I was guilty, buddy.
You were guilty. When Michael Vick went to jail for the dog fighting ring, there were people who said they would never, ever, ever forgive Michael Vick for the pain that he caused those poor, helpless animals.
Yeah, I think for me, I went on a tirade. I mean,
you did it on the show.
I did?
We were scheduled to have Fox NFL analyst Michael Vick on the show, and you said absolutely not.
That was like 7 years ago. That was like right when we started.
Early, yeah.
Yeah. I've softened.
Have you?
I have. I think what bugged me about the original show I was on, the host said, look, I mean, dogfighting's cool. And so I think that's what sent me to the gallows. Dude, I was so bad. And I think even then I was like, bro, I mean, I think he was fresh out, like just getting back. I was like, that's just not something we need to do. And plus it was the thing of like...
I'm not blaming you. I'm just...
No, I'd forgotten about that.
A lot's changed in 7 years.
I remember it. I remember it now. I don't know what it has softened in me. I still don't believe in it, right? I mean, I'm still against it, but I am a big second chance guy. Huge. And And again, like a second chance of like, the dude, he went to prison.
And he has not like gone back to his, as far as we know, in dog-fighting ways.
Yeah.
He's and a lot of it with Michael Vick,
and I think he's changed a lot.
Was cultural and how he was brought up, and that was part of it. He paid his debt to society. He served his time. He has come back, and ultimately my thinking on, if you don't have the opportunity to become better, have be given forgiveness and then give back and continue on with your life, then what exactly are we doing here? And I get it. There are people who will say, well, there are certain things that are unforgivable, murder, whatever it is. And I certainly understand the feeling, but we all have the capacity to forgive. And I will take a fictional example. We all cheered for Red in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, Red was a murderer. He killed his wife.
He was a murderer who
cut the brakes.
Wishes he could go back and, talk some sense into that stupid young kid who made, just a horrible mistake and, served his almost life sentence. But by the end, we were all Team Red, correct, in the Shawshank Redemption, because you
100%.
could see the genuine remorse and regret and pain, and he certainly served his time and paid his dues, and he deserved to get to Zihuatanejo at the end and see Andy, right? Well, this is Michael Vick. I think from what we've seen, he's lived pretty straight and narrow life here.
Yeah, as far as we know.
He's done good things. He's given back. I think he's got foundation stuff that he's done. This is his Zihuatanejo. He gets a chance to coach young kids and give back and, be a college football coach at this level and give it a try. And I don't have a problem with it at all.
Bathroom break, boss.
Can't squeeze a drop without say so.
I have, it's terrible, but there's so many, for me, just personally, I'm just speaking personally, there's just so many bigger issues for me that I worry about than Michael Vick coaching. And again, did his time, served his time, and has done, I think, some good things to help raise money and awareness for animal rescues and things now. He was misguided. He made mistakes, and he's paid for those mistakes. And I think him going to coach at Norfolk State is not going to keep me up at night. It's just not. There are literal criminals playing in every sports league right now, criminal behavior that is it's hard to weigh one against the other, but We make a lot of concessions, I think, for sporting figures. And again, he is one that actually had to go to jail and serve his time. So many don't.
That's true.
So many don't at all.
Jada the Joe saying, so you're saying Ray Rice can come back and coach? I don't know. Has Ray Rice paid his dues here and earned it? I feel like Michael Vick has.
I mean, you can go down this rabbit hole with anything in the world, with your favorite musician, with your favorite actor, with your favorite baseball, football, basketball player. It's what you're comfortable with personally. Me personally, I don't mind that he's getting a chance to coach again. It speaks to the fact that you can change, and I believe that we can change. I wouldn't want to be alive if I thought that people could not change. I would not want to live on this planet.
Trust me, you can.
You can.
Even if you think you can't, you can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, Ray Rice actually didn't serve any time.
Exactly.
At all. So
I think that's going to be a problem for some people.
Yeah.
Especially because there was video. Now, how many times there is no video of anything?
Correct.
So, as well.
Correct. So I don't like these philosophical discussions.
We need to get back to funny.
Talk about our gift or what?
Yeah, we can talk about our gift, and then we'll do Ben and Woods Wrapped,
right,
which involves our gift
the
giver.
gift giver.
Seems a little...
He is not happy about this being brought back up. But listen, we didn't have anything else. What do you want us to do?
I don't know if we'll soften it a little bit because of the nice gift he just brought us, but...
did you want us to rehash us talking about the 24 scoreless innings in October? Because we could do that too.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either.
And we had some nice moments before the 24 innings, obviously. Had a sweep of the Atlanta Braves, was a lot of fun. We had some good live remotes broadcasts during the playoffs with Tier 1s involved, but in terms of like memorable moments, we went a different direction.
We did.
For Ben and Woods Wrapped.
Much to Adam's chagrin.
Month of October, and we will get to that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. with your knowledge of Red from Shawshank Redemption and details on his crime that landed him the life sentence.
Cut the brakes on his wife's car.
See, now you said, no, that was in the movie. I go, no, it wasn't. I've seen the movie like 15 times. They never talk about other than he's in for murder and he committed a terrible crime that he wishes he could take back. They never said in the movie what he did. But you read the actual basis for the movie, which was a short story by Stephen King.
Called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. And I read it when I was in probably 7th grade. And I thought to myself after reading it, that should be a movie. Like, it was so good. And another short story in the book was turned into a movie, another one of my favorites, called The Body, which, of course, turned into Stand By Me. And the detail in both of those stories, I mean, like, I'm going to get it for you, and you can read different seasons. And it's Apt Pupil was another one. That was also made into a movie, not a very good one. That was in there, too. There was one more. It's brilliant. Seeing Shawshank and loving Shawshank as much as we all do, and then reading the story, blow your mind. I mean, really, like the detail, the better detail that is in there is spectacular. So, yeah, I'd forgotten that wasn't in the movie.
You know, and I've always known it was based on the short story, and I always kind of intended to read it, and I always felt almost disappointed that it was only a short story. I wanted to read a
full novel,
600-page Stephen King novel on the Shawshank Redemption, not just a short story.
Yeah, brilliant.
But you say it's definitely worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's such a book. The whole book's an easy read, man. The story, Apt Pupil, is great. The movie was not so good. The story, The Body, was great. It's Stand By Me. And, of course, Shawshank was brilliant.
Brilliant. One of my favorites.
Mine, too.
Really.
One of everybody's favorites. Purple in the chat said, I've never seen Shawshank, so I can't take sides.
I won't spoil it for you. Everybody dies in the end.
Nobody dies. Well,
some
I'd like
people
to think the last thing that went through Warden Norton's head, other than that bullet, it's brilliant. It's just a brilliant, brilliant film.
Anytime you can get Morgan Freeman doing voiceover 100%. Work is genius.
We had a nice surprise delivery. We have a couple today, actually.
Yeah.
Got Tier 1s giving us gifts through the mail, and then our boss, Adam Klug, came in. He said his wife was inspired by our candy cane discussion yesterday. If you missed it, happened right around 9 o'clock in the Rindle Report, talking about how to eat a candy cane. It was hysterical. I thought it was one of the funniest things we've ever done, unintentionally. But he brought us in these lovely bowls. He brought us each a card, very nice card, and these it's peppermint bark, which is some of my favorite. What would you call it? A snack, a delicacy, like
holiday
treat to eat.
Yeah.
And they're in these cool bowls. And I said, so I'm assuming you want this bowl back. And he goes, no, bowl is yours. So we got the bowl, too.
Sweet.
A very shallow bowl, but a bowl nonetheless.
It's a good, like a candy dish type bowl.
Good candy dish bowl. And I like this. So thank you, Adam, for that. And you'll get your present Friday to kick off the extravaganza.
Open our cards.
I hope he likes his present.
Oh, I think he's going to like it a lot. Now, what he does with it, I don't know that he's going to enjoy.
He also wrote us nice personalized cards.
Mine says, thanks for
putting up. $100 in mine.
Did you?
It's right here.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
Look at you. You deserve it. What?
It's mine.
Oh, you put it in there? I was genuinely happy for you.
I was, too.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm
hey, can I get that back? That was an accident. That was supposed to be
a gift card.
Don't be mean to the guy who just gave us the nice present and the nice cards. We're going to do that after traffic.
Right. Good call.
Fair enough.
You're going to read your card?
No. Fan Traffic Center. Here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. We still have a few problems here, guys. New crash on southbound 163 at Friars. Got the right lane blocked. Crash has cleared on westbound 8 just past the 163. And in the North County, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision east 78 past Twin Oaks Valley Road. Got a couple cars involved. It's got the fast lane blocked. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all the bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Wrapped. All right, it's time for the Ben & Woods Wrapped Look Back.
Is he serious right now? Did you see him in the chat? Guys, I need to talk to you immediately. Please cancel whatever you have planned for the rest of the segment and come see me.
He doesn't want to hear this.
All right, we'll play this video. It's about 3 minutes long, so we'll go talk to him while the video.
All right, you know how sometimes when we say if you've got young ones in the car with sensitive ears, turn down the radio? You can turn the radio up. This is not a sensitive segment. Adam, turn down your radio for a couple of minutes for your sensitive ears here, because we're going back to the month of October. And obviously, we all know what happened to the San Diego Padres in October. They had the Dodgers up 2-1. They went scoreless for 24 innings, and the series and season came to an end.
And now we know why it came to an end.
Yes. Well, and to be fair, you know, when you're a radio station, you have to plan for all contingencies. Wins, losses, and the sort. And Paul is our imaging director, so it falls on him to put together, you know, you hear the big voice, the promos that we run during the breaks, and he had to work on some promos that involve the possibility of the Padres.
The context here is that I was going out of town. I was gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday that weekend.
Yep, wedding.
So after Wednesday would have been game 4, I believe, of the NLDS, which the Padres lost. So I had to, spend all day Wednesday not knowing what the results would be. I had to plan for if the Padres won, hey, moving on to the NLCS. I had to plan for if they lost game 4, hey, game 5, Friday night.
But even if you weren't going out of town, this is standard operating procedure.
Pretty much.
To be prepared for all contingencies.
Exactly.
But like the championship T-shirts that are printed for the team that ends up losing and gets sent to Africa or wherever.
Well, there's still champagne and beer purchased for a team that's supposed to win. They wheel it right back out of the clubhouse. It happens.
It does. So you just are supposed to never let that see the light of day.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not what happened as we rewind to October 18th, 2024.
Now,
and I sent them all to Adam.
So that's your job. You did your job. You sent them away to Adam. Adam's job.
So no matter what happens, I'm out of town.
I'm leaving.
You've got them. Upload appropriately.
Upload as you need. And a few people picked up on this. They were listening to the Gwen and Chris program, and I believe it aired right after the interview with skipper Mike Schilt. If you were listening to the station, you heard...
What's up, my dudes? How you doing?
Oh, good, buddy. How are you? Missed you.
So this was last Thursday.
Last Thursday. Paulie was in Palm Springs. I was at home.
I just got to my hotel.
And
my phone absolutely blew up.
I was at home relaxing, and people started texting me because this aired on our radio station.
The Padres have slayed the dragon again. After knocking out the Dodgers, the Padres are moving on to the NLCS. Catch Game 1 of the NLCS this Sunday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
That went on over there.
Thursday.
We had not played.
Game 5 had not played.
Game 5 was on Friday. So I got a text, a call, and then another text, and another call. And I said, you guys know I'm in therapy. I'm working hard on controlling my emotions. Regulating is what I call it. I'm just trying to regulate. So I waited a couple hours. And I went to dinner with my wife, and I called Adam. He answered the phone like this. Ring, ring. He goes, hello. I said, how's it going? He said, are you calling to roast me? I said, mm-hmm. What?
Actually, yes.
What happened? He goes, I loaded the wrong one. And I go, I know. I heard. Everybody heard. And he said, now, you remember, if you will. So I knew this on Thursday. Last Friday's show, a week ago today, was me, Ben, and Adam, who was filling in for you, Paulie. And Adam walked in the morning, and he goes, so, are you going to roast me? And I said, no, I'm not saying a word. I'm not mentioning that.
I said, you already tempted fate by letting it play.
Yeah.
We're not going to play it again and again.
Yeah.
And continue to tempt fate. I mean, maybe it's too late.
Correct.
Maybe the damage has already been done, but we're not going to call attention to it.
And so I said, no, dude. He goes, I'm really surprised you're not going to roast me. I go, well, no. I said, if we win tonight, yeah, I'll roast you tomorrow at our live broadcast from, where were we going to be? AleSmith again?
Yes.
We were going to be here.
Oh, that's right.
We were
just
coming in
to
do a 2-hour show. So I said, I'm not doing that. And he said, Okay, maybe the right idea. So he thought he was off the hook until he did that this morning. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for blame to go around, I think that some of it goes to Adam. Play it again, Paul. I'd like to hear it one more time. Yeah, let's hear it one more time.
The Padres have slayed the dragon again. After knocking out the Dodgers, the Padres are moving on to the NLCS. Catch Game 1 of the NLCS this Sunday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a really fun way to start your vacation.
When I called Paulie, he answered the phone.
I'm telling you, like, the handle on my luggage was still up. We had just gotten to our room.
So Paulie's instant reaction was, oh, no, I screwed up. And I go,
my heart fell out of my butt. I thought I uploaded to cart A, but I told Adam it was cart B, and he just did what I told him. And I'm like, oh, my God.
All right, back live. That was, again, October 18th. And since then, I feel like we've only added more Dodgers fans to our chat, to our listenership. And the thing that hurts the most is how much they're laughing at us right now about that and hearing that.
Yeah.
Because they can. We gave them that opportunity to have a real good chuckle at our expense.
I mean, it might as well have been That's What's In. I mean, really, it's on par with That's What's In. I mean, and the fact...
How are we any better?
Yeah, we're no better.
And just to be clear, remember, when it played, the series wasn't over.
Correct.
It was going to Game 5. So we said, we're not going to talk about this.
I'm not saying a word.
We're not doing anything.
People were texting me going, are you going to talk about this? I go, no, dude, we have a game like tonight. I'm not going to jinx it. Now, if we won that game, it would have been a hysterical thing to play the next day. We would have won in spite of that. We would have, in fact, slayed the dragon again.
Yeah, just jumped the gun a little bit.
We didn't. It happened.
Now, I didn't play before Game 4, so we had nothing to do with the Game 4 loss.
Correct.
This is the promo, actually, that I made that Adam should have aired after Wednesday.
It's win or go home for the Padres and Dodgers in a decisive Game 5 with a trip to the NLCS on the line. Our coverage of Game 5 starts tomorrow with pregame at 4:08, followed by first pitch at 5:08 on 97.3 The Fan.
You run that Thursday, you run it Friday, leading up to game time.
It hurt.
I remember I was there. A lot of driving up to Dodger Stadium that week.
It hurt. Listen, I mean, Adam has nothing to do with them not being able to hit for, to do anything for 24 straight innings. But I'll say this, doesn't help. And Andros says, in hindsight, maybe you should have talked about it. Yeah, maybe. That we could have reversed the curse. Maybe us getting all verklempt about it.
Couldn't have done any worse.
Yeah,
the Padres have slayed the dragon again.
It's just smarmy again.
I can laugh at it now.
Again.
Imagine had they won. How that needle would have really been driven into the Dodgers fans. We were ready to
slay them.
Stick that knife in just deeper and twist it.
I said it in the clip. I hadn't even sat down yet. We had just gotten to the resort. We were there, Palm Springs, for a wedding, and you called me I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm so sorry. Did you hear what happened? I go, no. What are you talking about? And you explained it to me Adam.
Fans is going to hear it all season from Dodger fans. You sure slayed the dragon again. Yeah, we're going to have to wear this one like we had to wear That's What's In everything.
That's what's in.
How do you get to be jinx proof? Because they had those girls rapping. They have that Doze guy who's the worst rapper of all time, flexing with his bird legs and his Timberlands doing raps, all kinds. Like Max Muncy is a G, and I'm like, how does this happen? We do one rap and we're cursed forever.
It's funny how unlimited payroll does help mitigate some of the jinxes a little bit.
800 million in deferrals helps. All right. Yeah, they threw beer at our players. Like, do jinxes not exist outside of this city? Like, what is happening? Ray says jinxes are fake. I don't think so.
I tend to agree that jinxes are fake. But what is undoubtedly true is that you need you do need some things to go your way.
They had two pitchers and won the World Series
to win a championship, and things did not go the Padres' way.
I mean, again, it's not it's not the end of the world that promo aired, but it just doesn't help. He had a lot on his plate in the playoffs. I will give him that. He had me in his ear every day, like, what's up with my credentials? Why do I not get credentialed? Am I going to get credentialed? Do we have credentials yet? How do we screw up credentials? He's got Paulie in his ear doing the same thing. Ben was fine. He's got Channel 10. He's got Ben in his ear going, no, I can't make our broadcast. I got to go up to do Channel 10. Like, he was under the gun. He was absolutely.
Where are we broadcasting at from tomorrow?
Yeah, where are we going to be tomorrow? Are we doing anything? Like, it wore him out. So he got excited, and, as he does. And
maybe we turn this just into an ongoing bit and create promos for things that haven't happened
Let's
yet.
just do more.
Congratulations to the San Diego State Aztecs on winning the 2025 National Championship.
Yeah, let's do raps and stuff about them. Let's go we're going to jinx it so hard that it wipes out the jinx. I really don't know what to do. Adam says, maybe we never mention this again.
Well, I don't remember what happened, but in that clip you go, hey, we weren't going to talk about it until
he did
what he did this morning.
What did he do?
I
can't remember.
Know what he did.
I can't remember.
But obviously something happened.
Certainly
he said,
wasn't bringing us a nice bowl of peppermint bark.
That's true.
Which he did this morning.
That's
and we
true.
thank him for that. We're not giving it back, though, Adam.
Man. Yeah, we don't have to bring it up again after this.
This is it. We're closing the book on it. But it was a pretty good run.
Again.
That's a pretty good drop. Again. Do the promo for when we signed Sasaki and he actually goes to the Dodgers. The Padres land the biggest fish of the offseason. Roki Sasaki, you are a San Diego Padre. Holy cow, man. Yeah, can we add again to the Ben and Woods Open for 2025 somehow?
Again.
Dominic says, let's just focus on him ending the holiday stream last year instead when he just pushed the button.
It's 2 years ago.
2 years ago. That guy, he gets so excited. Oh, at least we got that clip out of it, Paulie, forever. Again. Somebody said, Andy goes, the again just digs so deep. It does. Again. Well, not really.
No.
The Padres have slayed the dragon again.
Actually, they lost.
We remain at one slaying of the dragon on the slaying of the dragon scorecard.
Oh, it's so good.
It remains.
So good.
This segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Warner Brothers. The college football playoff is here. You don't want to miss a moment of the action. With a new 12-team format, it's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever. College football playoff presented by Allstate begins with 4 first-round games, December 20th and 21st on ESPN, ABC, TNT, and Max. Woods very excited about Friday's game. That would be Indiana, Notre Dame.
I'm very concerned about the rumor mill going around that Notre Dame's going to be coming out wearing. I talked to my dad about it this morning. They're going to be coming out wearing black uniforms with gold trim. Is the rumor, and it's why would you're in the college football playoffs? You want to dress like Purdue? You're hosting a game. And you're not. Why wouldn't you just come out?
Those are official Notre Dame colors, aren't they?
Black and gold.
What are the colors?
Blue and gold.
Oh, blue. The dark blue.
Yes. They want to come out looking like the Boilermakers and hosting the whole playoff
green Irish uniforms.
Greens are great. Just come out looking like ND. What are we doing here?
That's weird. All right, we'll come back. We got a Randall report, Taco Bell update, and more coming up next on The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods here on a Wednesday. Got a Thursday program for you tomorrow. And then the Christmas and holiday extravaganza comes your way on Friday morning. Final show of the year for Ben and Woods. And then we will be back on January 6th to start our new year.
Yeah.
Oof. Do you think about it like I do? So, getting up, you get up earlier than I do. 3:30 usually?
Yeah, I was here today by 4.
Yeah, I get up more like 4:40. But I think of it as like 16 straight days that I don't have to get up prior to 5 a.m.
Yeah, of course I do. I mean,
2 weeks and an extra little kick-in weekend.
For me, it's the I don't have to come up with anything interesting or funny or anything. I don't have to do anything other than just wake up, play with my kids, be with my wife. Go for a walk, listen to music. I'm gonna reorganize my records. I'm gonna clean out my closet. I do all this stuff at the end of the year. Get ready for the new year. I have kind of a system of things I do, and I'm gonna clean out my bathroom. Just get dialed for the new year. I really like that feeling of clean slating it. You've just done that to your home. We got a bunch of stuff to get rid of and give away, and so I'm gonna do that. And I'm really for me, it's the content. It's the coming up with 4 hours of stuff to talk about that is the most draining on me. So I think just being able to hang with my kids. We'll go play basketball, football, baseball. I'll be playing like crazy. I'll be running around. And we got a trip to Texas too to see my family. Was asking my dad this morning what the weather's like so I can play some golf out there. So it should be fun.
You'll be itching to come back before me and Paulie probably are. Paulie, though, you feel the same way, like 16 straight days without the
prepping,
the alarm clock going off early in the morning. And I know what all the tier ones are thinking. What about us? We're going to miss you guys.
Screw you guys. I think that's the...
I would say, can't you just be happy for us for a couple of weeks?
No.
And then we'll be right back at it next year. I mean, we missed one show.
All
year
long.
The
three of us.
And maybe we don't miss any next year. I don't even know what our plan is. I mean, Woods is putting it to the test by going to England and probably Australia.
England, Hawaii, Philly.
Within what, 5 weeks?
We can't mix Norway in there at some point, or
July is going to be insane.
Peru.
We go to Philly as a show. The three of us. We're going to go to Philly and go to a Padres Phillies game, which is great. And then I come back for a week, and then I go to England for my 50th birthday to go see Oasis, and then I come back from that, and then the week. I have home a week, and then we leave for Hawaii.
Don't forget about fantasy camp, spring training.
Yeah,
those are trips
camp,
too. They're not quite as exotic. It's Peoria, Arizona, but
my wife's got we got a Vegas trip in March, but she's got a national park trip planned at some point. Don't know how we're going to swing that, but we'll figure it out. So yeah,
you got a trip already coming up in the Sprinter van over the holidays.
Yeah, we're going to go to Arrowhead just for a day, where it's our first taking the Ben bus up to Arrowhead. First trip, couple hours,
Ambitious,
we'll see how it goes, and go to Santa's Village and stay in the hotel.
I say first trip is not Yellowstone. You're not going to do 17-hour drive. You're going to take it a couple hours.
See how it goes. And
what celebrity did you meet last
Shia
night?
LaBeouf.
That's right.
we spent the entire day together.
I forgot about that.
We had breakfast together. We went to Santa's Village together. Our kids skated together.
Just following him around.
He would at one point when the day was over and we got back to the parking lot, I opened the car door to get my kids out. I looked over. He was 2 cars over opening his van. He looked at me like, "Bro, enough. Jesus God, stop following me around." It was wild.
So we'll have good stories when you get back about your time with Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, right. Whoever's in Arrowhead this year. Yeah, it's just hanging out with Vince Vaughn and his kids. And, I mean, it seems to happen everywhere we go. So I'm excited about that, though. The kids love it. And it'd be fun to take the Ben bus up there.
All right, I think we got a Taco Bell story somewhere in the Reindl Report. So let's get to it.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood?
food. I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right. Gentlemen, we'll start off in the National Football League. Surprising news yesterday. Surprising and not surprising. It's surprising in the sense that you don't typically see teams that are in the hunt for the playoffs make a change at quarterback when there's no injury involved.
Correct.
And it's not surprising in the sense that, well, quarterbacks played so poorly this season that it's like, what took you so long? Talking about the Atlanta Falcons, and they have announced that they have benched Kirk Cousins, and they're going to go with their number one draft pick, first-round draft pick, I should say, Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. He will now be the starting quarterback of the Falcons. They are one game back, I believe, in the NFC South.
Correct. Bold move.
Well,
Cotton.
remember when everybody laughed at the Falcons for drafting Michael Penix after they had just spent truckloads of money on Kirk Cousins and going, what are you doing?
Right.
Well, it turns out we really should have been laughing at them for spending truckloads of money on Kirk Cousins, not drafting Michael Penix. Drafting Michael Penix was actually smart. The spending of the money on Kirk Cousins was ridiculous.
His season ended in 2023 in Week 8 due to an Achilles tear, and done in Week 8. They signed him to a 4-year, $180 million deal, $100 million guaranteed.
So here's what Andrew Brandt, business sports guy, says most likely will happen with Kirk Cousins. He will be released in March with a post-June 1st designation. He will make $27.5 million next year from the Falcons or another team. $27.5 guaranteed. Jesus. After making $62.5 million this year. He will not because of that releasing though make his $10 million guarantee in 2026. The Falcons though will have paid him $90 million for one partial season of pretty mediocre or worse quarterbacking. $90 million for
36 years old.
13-ish games of quarterbacking.
18 touchdowns to 16 picks this year. 12 fumbles, which is tied for the most in the NFL.
Ultimately for $90 million.
I mean, that is staggering levels of incompetence. Staggering.
Could have had Sam Darnold for next to nothing.
Yeah.
He's having a Pro Bowl year.
He was 11 of 17 for 112 yards with a TD and a pick against the Raiders. His quarterback rating, Ben, was 9. 9. So has Penix played at all?
He's gotten into a couple games. I think.
Yeah,
he was fun as hell to watch in college, man. Really, really fun. It's. I mean, again, what do they do in the NFL? Always, well, we're going to continue to ride with the veteran, thinking he'll get it figured out. The Falcons said no.
He's thrown 5 passes.
5 passes. Okay.
See,
there you go.
38 yards.
Your job. We're in the playoff hunt. Go get him, kid.
$90 million for that year. Yeah. Chase Justin says, "Good for him. Get your bag, bro." I'm all for getting your bag. I'm a fan of getting your bag.
Shout on you to the team.
That kind of money, I wish I was Kirk's cousin.
Just had to jam that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, he did. I could see him working it.
I did.
He's working it down.
I don't really want to do my next story now because it's basketball and it kind of rewards.
It rewards his terrible behavior.
But
Bo, you were terrible. Here's a cookie.
You do that anyway.
Ben. Kirk's cousin.
Yeah, because he can afford pretty good Christmas presents.
Yeah, I would imagine. Do you give your cousins gifts? I don't.
Not really.
Not a thing. We had one of my cousins had a baby yesterday. My mom sent the picture over. I forgot that one of my cousins was having the baby. I had to remember which cousin it was that was having the baby. She just sent, Ava June Parker was born. I go, who does she belong
I can one up
to?
you. I don't know that I can name all my cousins. Maybe. Certainly can't name their kids.
No
chance.
No chance. Zero.
What with the cousins' kids? Are they
second cousins?
They're second cousins.
Correct.
They're not great nieces or nephews.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay.
Because that's niece and nephew has to do with your brother or sister.
Right. Well, so
your cousin's kids?
So my brother's
kids'
kids would be my great nephews someday.
Yes.
These are just second cousins.
Correct.
Second cousins once removed, or
I don't know what I've never known what once removed means.
Okay.
I know.
I'll be honest with you. It's much like deductible. Still don't know what that means. No idea. Once removed, deductible. Don't ask me because I don't know. What's our deductible? What does that mean? Do I have to pay this, or did they pay me? Have I already paid into the deductible? How much is the deductible? I have no earthly idea.
You have to pay before they start paying. They pay above and beyond your deductible.
So you want a low deductible.
Right. You want a very low.
That's for
low
everything?
deductible. Yes. Anytime you have a deductible, you want it as low as possible.
So let's say my deductible is $500.
Then you're paying $500, and then they'll pay if it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
That's the deductible.
I still don't understand. But I pay into my insurance every month.
Right, but doesn't help you with the deductible.
Why?
That's a totally different thing. It's so they can get you on
time
both
or
ends.
place for that.
Yes.
That's fair.
Let's get to something less complex. The NBA All-Star Game.
It's a little bit complex,
It's very
but not
complex.
as complex, I guess, as insurance. The NBA All-Star Game, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Boy,
when
they are spicing it up in the
reports
NBA,
came
aren't
out.
they?
Yeah, so the NBA officially announced their new format for the 2025 NBA All-Star Game, and I'll stand by what I said whenever we talked about this a few weeks ago. I credit the NBA for maybe more than any other sport. They're not afraid of change. They're not afraid to try something and experiment. We'll see how this works. Ultimately, it's an exhibition. It's the All-Star Game. It's not going to really impact much. Maybe it'll get some more viewers. Maybe it won't. All-Star games are just whatever. So the way they're going to do it is there will be 24 All-Star selections this year. Voting starts tomorrow, actually. And then, I don't know.
Fan vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
The game's, February something. They're going to divide those 24 selections into 3 8-player teams. The fourth team is going to be the Rising Stars, whoever wins the Rising Stars game.
Okay, we talked about
either
this.
first-year players, rookies, or second-year players.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they're going to it's going to kind of be like a little schoolyard tournament.
Okay.
And so those 4 teams will play semifinal games. Then there will be a championship game after that, all in the span of, a couple of hours.
But not a full game, obviously.
No. They announced that the teams will have general managers, and this is great. It's going to be Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Candace Parker, all of the TNT analysts.
Okay.
They will be running all 4 teams. Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny Smith, they will draft their rosters from those 24 players. Candace Parker is going to be the GM of the Rising Stars champion. So 2 teams will meet in game 1. The other 2 are going to meet in game 2. The winners of those teams will face each other in a championship, and it's going to be first 1 to 40. Just schoolyard, pickup,
threes,
basketball
twos,
type.
everything. Okay.
First
Winners
1 to
outs
40.
or losers outs?
What?
Winners outs or losers outs?
Yeah, make it. You make it.
Make
you
it, take it.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
There is a prize pool of just under $2 million for the All-Star Game. So each player on the championship team gets 125 Gs.
Okay.
Players on the runner-up team get $50,000, and then the teams on the 2 eliminated semifinal teams, they each get $25,000 for
Actually,
participating.
make them pay. The 2 losing teams have to pay. That's how you.
That's how you make them try a little bit harder.
That's how you get interest in the game.
The problem with the All-Star Game, obviously, is it's not even resembling basketball.
But
no one plays defense.
But it does. It resembles the NBA now.
Kind
Not a lot of defense, a lot of chucking threes, a lot of look at me, look at me. This gets pretty similar.
With a good dose of uncontested dunks thrown into the mix as well.
You'll never see guys just clear out of the way entirely just to let somebody do something cool.
I don't think this is going to change it all that much, but it might add a little. I mean, the Elam ending added a little more competition to the end of the game, at least when they did it last year.
If you could make love to an Elam ending, would you?
Yeah. 40 points is sort of an Elam ending with a big at the beginning as well for the final game. So they're kind of keeping that element in there.
Ben, look across the bar. Look at that. There's an Elam ending.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
So you sitting over there. Can I buy you a drink?
So good.
SEX.
He loves an ELAM.
Yeah.
He loves an Is that how you spell it?
Yeah, just like the kicker for the Broncos.
Jason Elam.
Yeah. It's not named after him. Ultimately, I think the NFL has really nailed it when it comes to their All-Star game.
Just stop
by
caring.
not having it.
But not having it.
It's really, they've really kind of found the sweet spot for.
We're just gonna bang this thing.
Just banging it.
We're gonna call you an All-Pro.
I didn't know where you were going with that for a second. I'm like, well, you're the only person on the planet that watches the Pro
Like, are
Bowl.
you huffing paint right now? Because
they stopped having it last year. No one noticed.
No one
or cared. They now have
do they name
Pro
all
Bowl,
pros? Do they
the
still
Pro Bowl games? They do, and they have like
the
skills,
competition.
Yeah.
But they still, you're a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, you're a Pro Bowler, and you go and you throw footballs at a target.
Yeah, it's fun.
But they don't play the game anymore.
All right, finally, in addition to the Taco Bell menu, do you like Taco Bell out there?
I do.
Of course you do.
Embarrassing.
Taco Bell has announced, and look, I don't even know if it's still a debate. Is Taco Bell Mexican food?
No, it's Taco Bell.
I don't think it's even a debate. I think anybody with common sense would know.
Neither is Chipotle.
Not. It's not. It's Taco Bell. It's Chipotle. Taco Bell announced they are adding chicken nuggets to their menu starting this week, tomorrow. They're going to be available everywhere for a limited time. They didn't say how long. They've tried this in the past. They did a sample, like a test run in Minneapolis last year. They tried it in Houston. They said it was successful, so they're going to try it out. They're calling them crispy chicken nuggets coated with a combination of breadcrumbs and crushed up tortilla chips. That's what makes them Mexican food. That's their reasoning behind it, not mine. Let's see here. I'm reading that they tried out more than 100 different dipping sauces, and they settled on 3 that you will get. Like, how many, like McDonald's, if you get chicken nuggets, you got like 10 choices.
Only the best of the best made it to the finals.
Yeah, they whittled it down to 3. So they got Bell sauce, which is made with tomatoes, chilies, and garlic, jalapeno honey mustard, and a Hidden Valley Fire Ranch that has fire sauce mixed into it.
Okay. I won't eat them, but somebody will like them.
Well, I guess my thinking is always, if you feel like chicken nuggets,
go to a chicken nugget place,
like a Cane's.
So
or
what
a
if you feel like
Chick-fil-A
a cheesy gordita crunch and chicken nuggets?
I never really mix. I don't.
As a parent, like Rubio's used to have chicken nuggets.
Did.
And that's what my kid wanted from the kids menu.
Because you wouldn't need a fish taco.
I get my fish taco. He didn't want a fish taco. I want the chicken nuggets. I was kind of glad they had them for the kids. But I think these are being more designed toward grown-ups.
These are adult chicken nuggets. Yeah, with all the sexy sauces that they give you. It's like if I go to Popeyes, I don't want a burger from Popeyes. I want chicken, right? Yeah. I don't want the Popeyes burger. It could taste like pumpkin pie.
I'm pretty strict about ordering the signature
where
thing
you're
on
at.
The menu where I'm at.
Me and you both. Oh, you know what? I got a tip. Remember we talked about In-N-Out last week? Our old pal, the Hillbilly Foster, texted me. He goes, hey, next time you go to In-N-Out, hey, make sure you go and get mustard grilled on your burger. And I go, what is that? And he goes, they put mustard on it, and then they grill it. And I go,
they do that automatically when you order it animal style.
They do?
Yeah, it's part of the animal style is mustard grilling the burger.
I said, bro, I'd never even heard of that, but I am all in to try
but I've definitely
a mustard grilled burger. I bet it's outstanding.
I should do that because I add mustard anyway because I like mustard.
Yeah, I like mustard too.
I saw someone, you can order anything they have it In-N-Out. You can pretty much order it. Like Tony Gwynn Jr. always gets a 4x4.
Yeah.
4 patties, 4 cheese. I hadn't seen this before, but someone on the internet says you can order cold cheese. So if you don't want it melted on the burger, you just want the slabs of cheese after the fact put on, you can eat it that way. I don't know why you would, but you can.
I will say this. Dead Space in the chat says, and I've heard this before, Del Taco has really good burgers and fries. But if I'm going to Del Taco, I'm in the I want fast food, Mexican food state of mind, right? But I like tacos at Jack in the Box, so maybe my whole theory is shot.
That is true.
It's shot.
I actually think Jack in the Box is a taco restaurant, though.
That just happens to have burgers, too.
It has some burgers, but I usually only get the tacos.
Yeah, I got to try that mustard grilled burger. Sounds delicious.
No, that's our homework assignment.
Thank you, Paulie. Appreciate it.
Good job, Paulie. All right, we'll check traffic.
One more roundup report.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We don't have one.
You don't do one during the Christmas and holiday. No.
I mean,
as far as
we have something else planned fun for this time, the 9 a.m. segment on Friday.
It's the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah.
All right, we will come back after traffic.
And do something.
I promise you we will be here.
We'll be here.
Looking at my rundown to see what we've got. Okay.
I wouldn't look.
It's a surprise. Surprise! We'll be back after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Don't
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
My sensing a trip maybe to a Phoenix Suns game while we're out for fantasy camp.
No.
Spring training?
No,
you're not going to make the
probably not.
Trip down to the Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix?
It's busy. We're busy when we're out there, man. We're working, creating content. Paulie and I got a couple games every day. Glad handling, all that. Glad handing, sorry. So no, if you want to go, you're free in the afternoons. You feel free to head down to the Phoenix Suns and arena. But this is pretty cool, man. I guess he is their owner. Yeah.
Matt Ishbia?
Matt Ishbia. Is that how you say it? Ishbia?
Ishbia.
I would have said Ishiba. Matt Ishbia. Just tweeted this. It's pretty cool. He said, winning starts with our fans. When I walk the concourse at games, there aren't food options for families who don't want to spend a lot of money. That needs to change. So today, we're rolling out our $2 value menu. $2 for all our home Suns games. So the $2 value menu, Ben, you get a hot dog, which was previously $9, is now $2. A 16-ounce Dasani water was $8.50, now it's $2. A 16-ounce fountain soda was $6.50, now it's $2. Bag of chips, $7. Nope. Guess how much?
$2?
$2. And a bag of popcorn, which was $7, is now
$3.50.
$2.
$2, sorry.
The most affordable, fan-friendly menu in the NBA. I will tell you this right now. I see that, and I go, all right, Bo likes a hot dog. That's $2. Taylor likes a hot dog. That's $4. Hannah likes one. That's $6. I want one. That's $8. I also get a Dasani water. That's $10. Probably Hannah will get one. That's $12. Bo, okay, that's $16 for everything. For a hot dog and a water, $16.
$16. And you get all that and a bag of chips for $18.
Oh, God. Waiting for that joke. All that in a bag of chips, which is probably a phrase you thought was cool when it came out. That guy thinks he's all that in a bag of chips.
Guy was like bullying Ben. Ben goes back to his friends. That guy thinks he's all that in a bag of chips.
You're such. I'm really ready for our vacation.
I feel like the hot dog feels like the best deal of the $2 menu items.
All right,
it's definitely the biggest discount.
Yes. Yeah, because there's no chance a hot dog's worth $9.
At Costco, you get it for $1.50 with a drink. So
with a drink
at Costco, yeah, at the food
court.
But
you don't see an NBA game while you're at Costco.
That's also true. Dasani for $2 is not bad. It's probably more expensive in the vending machine here at work.
Yep.
So $2 is a really good price. Fountain
soda's a good price.
$2 is very. I mean, those come very cheaply for the people putting it on, but better than $6.50. And a bag of chips should never be more than
$2.
Should never really be more than $1.
Yeah, $1.50.
Especially it's usually. I mean, if it's a huge bag.
Yeah,
but if we're talking about a small little bag of chips,
it's at a ballpark.
Yeah, and popcorn. Again, cheap to produce.
Correct.
All of these things are pretty cheap to produce.
They're also. It's what it's saying is, look, we know you're getting gouged. Literally everywhere you go, every place you go as a consumer, you are getting gouged. Your online streaming services, gouged. The gas station, gouged. The grocery store, gouged. Everywhere you go, you're getting gouged. We're not going to gouge you. We're still going to gouge you a little because, again, as you mentioned, a bag of popcorn probably costs them a nickel to make. We're going to gouge you, for $1.95, but it's lessening the gouge that the fans and the people feel. And I think that goes a long way, man. I think it really, really goes a long way. It would make me want to go to a game. Thinking, man, I can get out of there for $50 and everyone can eat.
I'm sure they still have options like, gourmet pizza or something.
Yeah, there's still
$18 or whatever. But, if
they just had a stand or a couple of stands throughout the arena that's where you go for the discount, the value menu.
Sure.
That would still be a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. I mean, because you get everywhere you go, you just wear it, man. That's what we all do. Every single day you just go, 96 to the ribs, let's wear it.
What's happening in Arizona? The Diamondbacks released their ticket pass or whatever.
Like season pass where you can just come as often as you want.
Yeah.
And now the Suns are doing the value menu.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know what their turnout is every game. I know the Diamondbacks isn't great, certainly, but yeah, man, I think anytime you can get people in the ballpark or people in the arena, and that's a great way to do it. I mean, telling them, hey, we want you to come enjoy the highest quality NBA game that you can see, and you can get out of here for $40 with a family of four. It's pretty elite. Pretty elite.
Zachary says, I'd sell it for
Phoenix number 20 out of 30
attendance.
Yeah, that'll help. It'll help.
Zachary says, I'd sell it for a $5 bean and cheese burrito at Petco Park. You can't get a $5 bean and cheese burrito at a taco shop anymore.
No kidding.
They're like $9 for
kidding.
a bean and cheese burrito now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everything's gone up, obviously, in price. I did see a story yesterday on Channel 10, and I guess they've been working at this, passing a new law eliminating like junk fees and hidden charges. So,
yes. Ticketmaster.
Concerts, airfare, like if they advertise a price, if they say that flight is $39 one way, you better be paying $39 if that, because it never is. Like a hotel stay, Paul, you go to nice, resorts.
Yep.
And they say, it's $179 a night.
Yep.
Then why am I paying $285? Well, resort fees and convenience fees and housekeeping fees. And
God.
If they advertise a price with this new law, if it goes into effect, and I'm not sure the details behind it, then that's the price you will pay. And obviously, they'll just,
jack up the prices.
They'll announce higher prices. They won't be able to tease you. But what it saves, and I thought this was the interesting part. So many people waste time like going, oh, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this great offer. And they click and they click and they book their dates and they look and they put in their information and finally gets to the last screen and goes, this is too expensive. This wasn't the price I'm going to pay. And then they just cancel and go, never mind, but you're wasting a ton of time going through the entire process thinking you're getting one price, and then, you've got an option at the end to say, actually, this is too much, but we shouldn't have to go through the whole process of filling everything out before we get the real price for something.
I saw a lot of like department stores during like Black Friday, not Cyber Monday, but all the shopping over the last few weeks. They were getting exposed for like Target in particular. They got the little plastic stand that holds the price in front of a big screen TV or something. And $2.99 was, right? It always says was $3.99. And people were filming themselves, walking up, removing the piece of paper, and right behind it was the original price, and it was always $2.99. They're just putting that out there to make you think you're getting a good deal.
Yeah, Rob says the bigger issue is the price of the fees, bro. 100%. I just bought 4 tickets to the Sphere to see the Eagles. The fees alone.
Are concerts like
concerts
are now that's like
Sphere maintenance fee, Nevada power fee,
all of it. I mean, if you tell me, hey man, you got about concert, you want to go see Taylor Swift, it's $100. All right, cool. That $100 ticket's $179 at least, $179, $180, $200 with all the fees that are added in. It's unfeasible to keep that going. It just you cannot do it. It's untenable and
it feels like every major concert now that gets announced, a world tour or something, it's like, bro, you're talking like $400 for nosebleeds at these arenas, these big stadiums, these football stadiums.
And it's funny, man, because everyone's praising Taylor because she gave away like $50 million or something ridiculous to all the people that work for her. And I'm like, that's all fine and good. But the people that came there, the people
you're giving away their money.
You're giving away their money to them, which, again, very noble. I love it. It's not just her problem. This is every artist.
It's a Ticketmaster
problem. So if you tell me, hey, man, there's a service, we got to make some money on this deal too. So it's $1. Fine, I'll pay but keep it reasonable. I'm fine paying it. Of course, I'm fine paying it anyway. But if you're gonna do it the right way and stop robbing people blind, man. And the resellers markets are even worse.
I mean, when I go out to eat, I know there's gonna be tax, there's gonna be tip. I know that it's added in, but now a lot of restaurants will also have that like 3% charge added to the bill for staffing and stuff. And again, I believe in paying your staffers, so I'm generally okay with that. But you could also just bake that into the price of things, so I know what I'm ordering is actually going. Ultimately, you can say everything's $1. But, after the fees and everything, you're going to be paying what?
Resort fees are absurd, and there's no way out of it either. You can't just be like, what is the resort fee? It's, to use the pool or the gym
I won't be
area?
using the pool. I'll opt out of
fine,
resort
I'll opt
fee.
out.
Just get up there, start nickel and diming them. I will not be using the gym. I'd like that taken off my bill.
What am I paying for? I'm already paying for all of that.
I know. It's so terrible.
Elevator fee at the hotel. I'll just take the stairs. Thank you. All right, well, you're on the 38th floor.
Spencer says the artist doesn't get the Ticketmaster fee. No, Ticketmaster gets the fee. They get the fee. And
don't blame. Yeah, that's a Ticketmaster. There's like legal ongoings with all of that.
But again, I mean, it's you're selling all these tickets, and if you're a Taylor Swift or you're the Foo Fighters, whatever, damn well 80% of the people got in there buying their things off buying their tickets off resellers for 5 times the price. I mean, at least. And so it's just, there's got to be a better way to do it to get everybody to be able to enjoy the artists that they love to see. It's almost impossible unless you make a lot of money to go see concerts these days. It really is.
I mean, you can go, Observatory, Belly Up, the House of Blues.
Right.
You could probably get in for $40, $50, $60, but the big names now, the big shows, they don't really come to San Diego anymore, but if you want to go up to SoFi Stadium, you're going to be paying $300-$400, and you're going to be in the absolute nosebleeds.
I am not AJ Preller in the chat says, talking about when Pearl Jam tried to fight Ticketmaster, they eventually just gave up. They're just like, you cannot fight that massive conglomerate. So if this deal does go through, that would be spectacular for all of us. I like what this owner did. I think that's a good way to do it.
All right, take our final timeout. A couple of minutes left to look ahead. Also, the new NCAA NET rankings are out. You might be surprised which team has the best net ranking here in San Diego in college basketball. Coming up with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This final segment of Ben and Woods today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is football. Hey, San Diego sports fans, head to your local Buffalo Wild Wings. Try their new maple chipotle sauce for rich maple sweetness and a mild, smoky chipotle heat. Or for a bit of kick, check out the new Cajun sauce with a rich blend of spicy and tangy peppers. Stop by your San Diego B-Dubs or order now for takeout and delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings. Go. All right, if I asked Woods to try to explain the NCAA net rankings, you couldn't do it.
They put a bunch of stuff in the computer. It's all numbers driven, right?
True.
No, they get a bunch of different nets and they rank them.
The best
Fish
nets.
net, basketball nets.
Fish net. What do you guys think of fish nets on women?
No.
Same.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Not very high on the net rankings.
No. My fish net rankings, not very high.
You tend to like those cliche type,
Who are you talking to? What do you mean?
It's cliche sexiness,
What?
No?
Wait, what?
What?
No.
All right, let's explore.
No.
No,
We're
let's
exploring
explore.
net rankings,
no,
not
we're not.
fishnets.
I want to know why I like cliche. I hope my wife's listening. Cliche sexiness. Tell me, what about me says I like cliche sexiness? Why are you red?
I mean, Paulie, am I totally wrong here?
What do you? What are you?
I'm confused.
SMI. What does that mean? What cliches? Like voluptuous breasts? Okay.
There you go. You like those?
What a monster.
I'm not saying you're a monster. I'm just surprised you might not like fishnets.
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
I don't like the burlesque look.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you?
No.
No.
But I'm less surprised by me not liking it than you.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
All right, go ahead with your net rankings. No, I can't explain how the net rankings work. It's all computer. Is this is like...
Yeah, it is. But I can't do it either. But,
Is it like war in baseball?
I think
like an all-encompassing stat?
The troubling part is that Brian Dutcher can't do it either. And when you have a sport where those guys don't understand it either, it's a bit of a problem.
It's kind of like ratings for radio. Yeah. It really is. It's kind of like ratings.
It is a little bit. Yeah. We're in the industry. Can't totally explain how it works. And Brian Dutcher was talking about this yesterday. And the net rankings don't make a lot of sense right now, and I'll explain why after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive Through Oil Change, your trusted instant drive through oil change. Morning drive wrapping up kind of on a busy note here. Got a collision on eastbound King Freeway at the South 805 connector ramp. Also collision on westbound King Freeway before the 125. That is over to the right shoulder. Collision on the northbound 5 before Gilman. Couple vehicles involved there over to the right shoulder. Also traveling on the southbound 5 coastline right before the 78. There is a collision blocking a slow lane. Then another crash up ahead right before Palomar Airport Road. Tow truck is on scene. Several vehicles blocking middle lanes. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Trying to have an important college basketball discussion
it's
here.
Not working.
You seem to be derailing me a little
derailed
bit.
it. You derailed it.
So after their win last night, big win for UC San Diego over Utah State. The Tritons are up to number 57 in the new NCAA net rankings. That is just one behind San Diego State. That is number 56 in the net rankings. Now, both teams have 2 losses. The Tritons have 3 road wins, which is impressive. But they lost to Seattle University, one of their 2 losses, and they lost to San Diego State. So
San Diego State's beaten multiple
ranked teams.
So this is where Brian Dutcher's confusion lies. San Diego State has one of the toughest strengths of schedule. They did lose to the 4th-ranked net team in Gonzaga, but they beat the 7th-ranked net team in Houston. They did lose to the 16th-ranked team in Oregon, and then they've won all their other games. So anyone with a logical brain would say, okay, you should probably be somewhere around 12 in the net rankings, yet the Aztecs are 56, which in most years is probably not good enough to make the NCAA tournament. And you get the sense when Brian Dutcher is asked about it, he goes, I don't know why. I feel like we've done everything asked of us. We play good teams, strong non-conference schedule. We go to neutral sites and play those games. We've played a road game. Why aren't we higher in the net rankings? What did we do wrong? And no one really can seem to explain it to anyone's satisfaction.
Now, this must drive you bat-esque crazy.
A little bit. In recent years, it felt like the Aztecs gamed the system pretty well. They always had the best net ranking in the Mountain West because, they played good non-conference games and they had that strong schedule, and it always benefited them. This year, I think they're like 5th in the Mountain West. It's still... Utah State is 39. Boise State is 47. Nevada is 51. They're all ahead of San Diego State, and no one really can explain to me why. The Aztecs have no bad losses at all. They have a couple of really good wins. I mean, hey, that UCSD win, that's a top 60 at net school that they beat to start the season. These are all really good wins, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. For something that's supposed to be very unemotional, scientific. I understand when the polls don't make sense. You got writers just voting with their, kind of hearts and feelings, and it can be a little random.
The eye test.
This should be a little more explainable and scientific, and it doesn't feel that way, to be sure.
Isn't it weird?
Based on these results.
Isn't it weird too? Like if you're the Aztecs, you're like, no, like I know who we played and what they were ranked when we played them. I know how difficult those games were. I know how raucous the away crowd was, and we won those games. What are you getting punished for?
Now, Tony says 56 is definitely good enough in a field of 64. If you're not an automatic qualifier, remember the last 22 spots are reserved for conference champions. So only really the top 48 or so, 46 make the tournament. And it's not strictly based on the net rankings. Bracketologists would look at San Diego State's resume. I think Lunardi has them as a 9 seed right now, and they should be in either way. But this net ranking isn't going to help them, and it's not going to go up much the rest of the year because they've played the strength of schedule is only going to get worse from this point on in the Mountain West.
Do they factor in? Well, you don't know. You're shrugging your shoulders. Score. We beat this team by...
and Dutch said yesterday, I mean, there is certain, how much you beat a team by does get factored in, especially in things like Ken Palm, but that's supposed to be mitigated. They don't want you just running up the score on everybody, right. So there's caps and such. The win over California Baptist hurt San Diego State because they were up 19, but Cal Baptist made that late run to cut it to 5 or 6 or whatever the final score was. Ultimately, they never really threatened to win the game.
Right.
So it shouldn't matter, but it does in these metrics because you had a bad couple of minutes when the game was already out of hand. I don't totally get that.
That's the kind of stuff that feels like old school college football, right? Where it was you won, but you only won by 3, and you should have won by 14, and that's tough, dude. That's a tough one. So what do you do? I mean, you just continue to win games, and now
you can't do anything. You can't change your schedule. You can't do anything.
And what you don't want the Aztecs to get to is where you have to win the Mountain West tournament.
Right. And, if you have a couple of bad losses in the Mountain West,
you really can't.
You go to Wyoming and you stumble your toe at 7,000 feet of altitude. That could really potentially jeopardize the Aztecs' path to the NCAA tournament. As you said, you can always control your own destiny in the end, but winning 3 games in 3 days is a dicey proposition. You'd like to have that fallback position of knowing, hey, we're in either way. And you can't necessarily say that right now about San Diego State, even though you thought they put together a pretty good resume in the non-conference. It should be as close to as good as anybody in the country, but for some reason, it just isn't this year.
What do you think about the old trench coat with lingerie at the door?
No, I'm not.
You're not into that?
No. Maybe I just find it intimidating for the most part.
I guess I would be into that since I like cliche things.
Which
is so cliche. It happens all the time. I can't tell you how many times I come home. There's Hannah in her trench coat and her lingerie once a week. so much where I'm like, hey, can we ditch the trench coat and lingerie?
That's for Friday night. Saturday's the fishnets.
I mean, that's such a cliche. It was like in cartoons growing up.
It was, actually.
And I was always confused because I never lived anywhere where someone would actually wear a trench coat. So it would be a dead giveaway if you came home and Hannah was in a trench coat.
Let's reverse it. And you go home with just a trench coat on. Different scene entirely.
Does anybody here own a trench coat?
It's a different scene entirely. If a man is in a trench coat with nothing else underneath.
It's a crime,
try fishnets.
It is a crime. Try some fishnets.
Guys listening, try
Annie and
fishnets.
Elston are up next. 2 shows left this year.
I'm going to make him
them.
wear fishnets on Friday.
It's
for
Ben
that
Woods
comment.
on 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.